Don't mind me. I am alone. Hello. There we go. All right. Now I can close out of that. Very good. Oh, goodness. Well, hello out there, and welcome back to Table Talk, Discussion, and Discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Great95. Good evening, Draco Kraken. As you can see, it is I. I'm also alone. No game, no girlfriend, no friends, nothing. Just me, myself, and I, and you. Hey, August. That's alright. That's alright. We can keep each other company. It's cool. um, yeah. So, welcome to the last episode of the second year of Table Talk. We've been going for 2 years now. Granted, we've missed quite a few episodes in between, but it's been 2 years. Crazy. Um, we did it, everybody. Another year to go, at least. Who knows? So next week we'll be starting a year 3. And I know we're in season 4, quote unquote, right? But the seasons mean nothing. I don't know if you know they mean nothing. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But yeah. So I figured that we would do just a bunch of smaller videos for this episode. Now, the topics are varied. The who knows the quality of each of these videos. They're all under 10 minutes. I have 4 of them. Potentially there could be more if we are given more. Who knows? It really depends on how fast we go through these. And of course, since it is just me, we'll go a little fast for a little while, so I will kind of just be spitballing a little bit at the beginning here, because I want to give my compatriots as much time as I can before they can come through. Now let's give me just a second here while I pull some stuff out. We've done 90, well, this is number 95 of our episodes, and that is kind of insane to me. The fact that everybody who has hung out and stayed hanging out has continued to. So thank you, first off, to everybody who watches these, and who those of you in the chat right now, and those of you in the Discord who've joined it and hang out. I know we don't do too much in the actual Discord, but I was gonna recommend earlier, but you could celebrate by reacting to some Reddit D&D horror stories. Oh, there you go. That's right. Stall by pitching us your latest Ponzi schemes. That's true. The dice is all a ruse. I promise. No. But yeah, that's a good idea, Dr. Kraken. We should do that sometime. We used to do a lot more like homebrew stuff through Reddit. That was a thing for a while. But I don't know. It got kind of like, well, it was interesting. I just didn't want to, do the same thing that everybody does. Why don't you take an episode and review your old episodes? Oh, yikes. That's a good idea. Hey, Lux, guess I'm quarantining today? Aw, that sucks. I hope you're feeling okay, at least. But Yeah, looking over our old stuff, maybe a thing that we do in the future. It really depends. Maybe we'll make a vote or something and put it up, and people can choose can tell us which episodes they would like us to relook at. Maybe relook at the videos themselves and see if we agree with what we said before. That would be interesting. I don't know. Um, I just know that early me, man, that guy, he needs to go. He shouldn't even have been on this show, man. Have the viewers review your videos? Oh, don't worry, people do that, and you can do that in the comments. That's fine. I would like to know, actually, maybe at the end of next year, I might put out a thing of like, what was your favorite episode? I might do that actually later tonight. I don't know. I haven't slept well, and I've been awake all day doing work, and then coming home and doing schoolwork, and then now doing the stream. So I haven't had very much time to really settle. So you can kind of hear it in my voice. I'm a little tired. So it will go deeper. It will go darker. Past you always messes with future you. Yeah, fuck past me. I hate that guy. God, get that guy out of here. My favorite episode is the one with Garibay. Which one? The one with Garibay. Absolutely, that's fair enough. Well, uh, not to spoil anything, but to spoil something, maybe you should stick around for the whole thing, or tune in when the VOD comes up if you can't, because maybe there will be a Garibay video today. At the near the end of this. Hello, Mog Zero. How are you? Um, but yeah, I'm always I'm able to show up this time. That's great. Glad to see you. Um, but yeah, so look out for that little poll. I would actually be very interested in seeing what people's favorite like episodes are. It'd be really interesting. And hopefully this coming year, we can get our old guests on and perhaps new guests on much more frequently. Um, Busyness, though, really cuts into my chatting time. So, no promises, but that's the hope. So, um, yeah, it's crazy. Again, 2 years of table talk. I'm glad it's been relatively successful in the sense of people liking it, people showing up, people watching and shit. Pretty great. Not gonna lie, the video that got me to subscribe still holds a place in my heart. Reacting to Cody's horrific 50-minute response video. Oh yeah, yeah, that was a time. Man, that was a time. We've yet to go back to some responses for that, and I've been giving it its like, I've been the I don't part of me doesn't want to because it's already gone. It's gone by, it's gone past, but a lot of people probably had some really good like videos in response to his video, and I kind of want to like look at them because it's no secret that the all of the hosts here on the show, we aren't really Pathfinder guys. We like it. We don't have anything against it. It's just, it's one of those things that none of us really know to the extent of other things. And again, Pathfinder has a lot of overlap, obviously. But it's just one of those things where we're interested in that kind of stuff in Pathfinder still, obviously. And I don't want to just beat that dead horse, because that would it's just that video was bad and everybody knew it, and I think it's a shame that video happened. That would be a good one with no out ones. So Brogan doesn't want to he didn't want to be, responding to that kind of stuff Rogan doesn't like drama, as he calls it, which it is. It's drama. It's true. He's very much more so like doing his happy stuff, which is great. I'm glad for him, and I don't want to have him come on and then just have to bash that bash Cody's video takes anymore, because we all know like how everybody felt about it, and Rogan doesn't need to add on to that. Everything's been said basically for him, so it would be good, I would agree, but also like it's just not something he wants to do. Anyway, yeah, the Cody thing introduced me to you guys. I ended up not watching his content after his Pathfinder 2 meltdown. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and I don't know, you know what, I'm gonna check how he's doing, because I hope he's still doing well, because of him doubling down on a straw man. Yeah, oh yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But we didn't get it, so whatever. But that's the other thing. I just haven't wanted to cover any of his videos for like a while, because I don't know. It's just they've lost that magic, that appeal. Howdy y'all. How's everyone doing tonight? Hey Vale, how's it going? I'm doing all right. You can hear I'm tired. Yeah. Yeah, he still does his videos, and I think he's still doing well on Patreon, but I just haven't felt like I don't know, it's just covering Cody again is just not like his actual content is just not something I want to do, I don't know. Oh, there is one that I actually kind of want to cover, but maybe not. We'll see in the future. Perhaps it'll be something. If people really want it, if people really want to cover another one of his videos, maybe we'll do it. But for now, there's no future plans for Cody stuff. Anyway, good old Cozy. So, I suppose let's get started. Yeah, I've done enough faffing about. I've talked your ears off about literally nothing, except for how awesome you guys are, and how great it is to, I don't know, have the show going. That's basically all I've been talking about, and reminiscing a little bit. But we should start with something. Start with a video here. This one, the starting one, it's just gonna be me, so forgive me if I miss things. Please do catch the things that I miss. I saw he had a spike for a while, and then he started to fall off. It's more of if he decided to be 5e only, and that's fine. I'm sure his content is great for it, but I have found others I like more now. That's fair. Oh! Well! Hold on, everyone. Hello!
Hello.
You got here before Aiden.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Good job.
What time was he expected to be here?
He said he was out of work at like 8:30, or he works till 8:30. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
They might have held him late or something.
Maybe, yeah. Well, hey. Welcome to the end of our second year of content.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because we've been
really
doing this
2 fucking years. Jesus.
It's been 2 years. Yeah.
That's so weird,
isn't it? A little bit.
How much money do I have? I gotta find out how much money I have, because there's a new Serious Sam game.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, it's on sale for $2 less.
Fair enough.
It's the one that's it's like a spin-off of the 4th one, and 4 was really good.
Oh, there you go.
Oh shit. So are we already live? What are we doing?
Yeah. We're live. I've just been chatting away. Who is that new icon, the purple dragon thing? That's Aiden. He's just got a different icon right now.
Yeah, because why do I only have, what the fuck? When did that happen?
So, Boo, the plan today
Uh-huh.
is we're just going to cover shorter videos, under 10-minute videos, and there's just going to be a variety of them, and
weird.
there'll be a Garibay one at the end.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So we just got to stick through it.
Yeah.
And we'll see the quality of these, how they go, but hopefully they're not too bad.
Yeah.
We're getting close to Elden Ring, and on that day, I'll be seeing unemployment and insomnia as I lose my life for the next 3 weeks. Well, I know that's coming. For me, I'm waiting for fucking Warhammer 3. That's Total War Warhammer 3.
Oh, I didn't know you were gonna be jumping in.
Oh, of course. Well,
Total
Warhammer 3, dude.
I mean, I know, but
come on.
It's essentially kind of the same game as the second one.
Yeah, and the second one was the same game as the first one.
It's true.
It's just, I don't know. I like the idea of actually having demons.
Yeah, I guess I am pretty hyped to be able to play Zinj.
Yeah. I want to be corn super hard, dude. It'll be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's
corn. Yeah. Yes. Gross. I love that shit.
Hey, Oradoran, how's it going? All right, Pokemon Legends Arceus this Friday. Oh, I forgot about that. That's true.
That's true.
I did forget about that. That is something that I was actually looking forward to. It looks.
I am not picking it up until reviews are out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm their
scared.
Track record.
We'll see.
Oh, by the way, did you see the 40K game that I linked to you? 40K 40.
The 40K.
Shoot his blood and teeth.
Yes, the orc one.
Yeah. So like, it's co-op. So.
Oh, is it actually?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I can totally play that at some point.
Yeah, totally.
Don't know when it's coming. It just says coming soon in 2020.
Yeah, exactly. I also saw, now that we're on the tangent, I also saw that there's a VR 40K game coming that's the Sororitas, that you play as them. Yeah.
Dude!
I'm so excited for that. It'll
cool.
be super cool.
Nice. And I didn't know that, I was watching 40K in 40 Minutes. They did a Guard versus Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah.
And I did not know that the Guard had a stratagem called Vengeance for Cadia.
Oh, do they now? Fuck
yes! Yeah. It's fucking cool, dude.
Fuck yeah. That's awesome. Doesn't it play like Vermintide? I hope. Oh, no, that's Darktide. Darktide is coming. Yeah. That's made by the same people who made Vermintide, and I'm so excited for that one, too.
And then, of course, there's Space Marine 2.
Yeah, oh, God, yeah. I'm so worried about that story, but even so, I'm gonna get it and play it, you know?
I thought at the end of Space Marine, you got, like, fucking grabbed by the Inquisitors who are like, you fucking touched the warp, you shitter.
Yes, that is exactly what happens, yes.
Yeah.
Your other brother in arms who doesn't die, who's the younger one and also the more strict to the Codex one, is like, hey, Inquisitor, this
man over here,
Titus, he can resist the warp, and only somebody who's kind of warpish can do that, so fucking arrest him. And the Inquisitor's like, hey man, you're coming with us. And you're like, wait, I'm good. And everybody else is like, wait, he's good. And then the Inquisitor's like, oh, don't worry about it. If there's nothing wrong with you, you won't have anything to fear. And he's just like, okay. And I'm like,
Even though, isn't he like canonically touched by the Emperor or some shit?
And I have no idea. I have no clue. I never looked into it because that's just theories and stuff at this point, you know?
Yeah.
So
who the fuck knows? Maybe they're sending him there as honestly, I'm guessing that it's either they're sending him there as basically like a Halo 2 Arbiter kind of thing, where he's like, he's touched by the warp, but he's pretty good, so we'll just send him there on a suicide mission. If he wins, great. If he dies, great. Or it's a prequel.
Yeah, so, well, it can't be, because they literally have Primaris. Because Primaris didn't exist in
Primaris did happen. They were first introduced, at least as far as I know.
In the Indominus War.
Oh, it was Indominus? Okay, yes. I thought it was in when Macragge got attacked by Behemoth. I thought that's when it happened.
Because
I know that Rebooty Wheelie Man showed up with Primaris to help.
in that, did he?
Oh wait, no.
No.
Was it him? And yeah, no, it was. It was him and some Primaris that showed up to help with Macragge.
I don't think so.
And then I think it was either that or somebody showed up with somebody at the end of Bale. It might have been Bale that I'm thinking of.
Maybe.
I don't remember. I don't keep track of Space Marine lore.
I'm very much think it's that they were first in the Indominus War, and that was their big jump in. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So now that we've talked enough about that,
40K.
Let's move on to the video. Here we go.
Yeah.
So this is 5 tips for running dark fantasy in D&D. Brought to us by Casplash Productions. Casplash.
Tip number 1.
Casplash.
Tip number 1. Turn the lights down.
Exciting. So we'll see how this goes. Who knows? Maybe I'll learn something.
It's very loud. There we go.
After the recent announcement of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, I thought it would be a good time to talk about dark fantasy. From what I can tell, dark fantasy seems to be one of the most popular subgenres among players and dungeon masters, and D&D is more than capable of supporting it. At the same time, it's not quite as easy to run as a straightforward heroic adventure, and you'll need to take some special measures to make sure that your players are taking the dark nature of the game seriously. Before I get into the list, I should probably answer the question, what is dark fantasy? To me, it's fantasy mixed with horror, and not just in the sense that it often includes classic horror creatures like werewolves and zombies.
Wow.
A good horror movie will give the audience a constant sense of...
Oh, yo, that's got like a whole graveyard on its back. Oh,
yeah, it's like a graveyard giant golem or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Anyway. August says, talk more about Warhammer so I can be motivated to beat up you nerds for your lunch money and see your hot moms. Yeah, that's right.
Wait, us?
Yeah. Beat us up. Also, I just realized that that's in the way. Sorry. But yeah, come here.
Bitch, I got a lot of Tyranids. I'll beat you up.
Dread. And the same should be true for your players in a dark fantasy game. The world should suck, and the PC's lives should suck even harder. The heroes are just trying to get by in a world where anything horrible could be right around the corner, and the only thing that they truly understand is that everything there is trying to kill them. For this video, I'm assuming that the party is mostly made up of relatively decent people that stand in contrast to the monsters they fight, even if they sometimes act for themselves or occasionally have no choice but to leave others to die. If the PCs are straight up villains or some type of evil mercenaries, then the campaign could probably still be classed as dark, but some of the tips in this video wouldn't apply, so that's a topic for another time. The evil campaigns video is coming, I promise. For now, onto the list. My first tip is to give the players tough choices.
Okay.
In a good dark fantasy campaign, the world should be a horrible place, and saving everyone should be completely off the table. You should include scenes in your campaign that highlight this, particularly the idea that benevolent magic is preciously scarce. If the PCs have only one potion of greater restoration, then they should come across a child afflicted with a deadly curse, forcing them to either give up their own safety or leave the child to eventually become a horrid monster. Magic item use should always have a price, whether an item has to draw the user's blood or risk...
My man, you gotta be careful with this use of fucking Game of Thrones. Like, I get it. It works for the dark fantasy kind of thing in this scene, but like, my man, somebody gonna copyright you, and I hope they didn't. I hope that you're still good.
Well, I mean, honestly, I doubt it was copywritten and more or less just, that thing where it's like, oh, you have this in it? Okay, you don't get any revenue and it's all ours.
Well, yeah, that's also, I hope that didn't happen either. I don't know. Their use is hard with YouTube. They like their bot.
Yes, they do.
I'd rather think of Ravenloft as gothic horror, but we'll see where he's going with this. That's fair enough.
Yeah, I've never really seen it as dark fantasy.
Yeah,
not really.
I don't know. I guess it really depends on the definition that he's going with, I would say.
Yeah.
And
I agree. I see that more as like classical / gothic horror.
Yeah, that's fair. That giant, I think, is the Magic the Gathering card Soul of Innistrad. Okay.
Oh,
neat.
risks attracting demons when activated. Your world should be so full of darkness that even the noblest of heroes will sometimes need to step out of the light. My next tip is to make sure that
Okay, so overall, first off, the first tip I agree with mostly. In the sense that you should have very tough choices, absolutely. Though I would say, and I don't think that this is the implication, obviously, but I would say that the Ravenloft I would label as softcore horror. Well, fair enough, I guess. Dark Sun is definitely dark fantasy. Yes, that's true. There you go. That's
and
a good
Blades
comparison.
in the Dark and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and maybe Blades in the Dark. I don't know.
Because, well, I mean, the reason why I say Blades in the Dark is because, one, everything is really, really grim in that area, and two, you can't ever leave the city, and if you do, you're, like, fucked.
Yeah.
Because everything's powered by ghosts or whatever, and the ghosts are bad.
Oh, yeah, true.
You remember that?
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway.
But anyway, so, yeah, I was saying, that, having those kinds of more, I guess, heroic kind of things and like the good that is in that darkness should still be something that is like, and it's kind of conflicting with this tip 2, but I think having those like bastions of hope that still exist in your world to like offset that whole dark depressive mood where people are trying to get to these places or people are trying to create places, and whilst it might not be successful, whilst it might not be, 100% great there, it's at least something. Maybe that's still in spirit with what he's saying. That, it's not just like, oh, everything's great here,
Yeah, no. And one thing that I actually have an issue with, it's a small one, is the, basically make it so you can never save everybody. I think that it should be possible, but it should be, you can't save everybody unless you are willing to sacrifice something.
Yeah.
If you go about it the normal means, you can only save one, like group 1 or group 2.
Sure.
But if you are willing to like put yourself in serious harm's way and potentially die, then, or like probably die, then you can save both.
Yeah,
it has to take that sacrifice. I think it should be an option.
Yes, I would say that like, and I don't know about it being like always an option. I think that it should be there to use when something is I guess more critical to the party. Like they've been with this group for so long and they don't want to lose any of them because they've actually bonded with them in a way. And like then it's like, oh, you can't save all of them unless, and then it's like, okay, at that point, give them that choice because I feel like, you'll have that kind of drama and tension in that way. 3.5 and before Ravenloft was very gothic horror. New editions cut it back to be less triggering. Looking at the new Ravenloft book, not the new one, the one before the new one.
Okay.
Where they did all the revisions.
The old new one.
Yes, the old new one. The one before they did all the revisions. It's okay. It's not like, the worst thing.
Wait, was it triggering?
No.
Oh, that's right.
That was the remember with the Vistani, they were changing them because they resembled Romani people. And all that, right?
Uh-huh.
I think that's what Mog's talking about. The newest version of it. Whilst before they did that, it's fine.
Yeah, of course. Nobody. Never mind.
Yeah,
we touched on that so often.
Yeah. There's no such thing as no hope in the world unless it's just desolate and practically nothing sentient or non-evil doesn't exist. Because even with children, they bring hope or inspire it in others. Yes.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Very true.
Place is truly safe. Kill off NPCs left and right, no matter how hardened or innocent they might have seemed. Have monsters ambush the heroes during rests. Even in places where you don't feel like throwing in a whole encounter.
I think, okay, so this is with wording. Because his tip right there on the screen before was no place is safe. Like, that's just a definitive statement. Whilst his words, no place is truly safe. And that's a big distinction, right? Because you have somewhere that is not safe in just at all, and then the other place where it seems safe. And that's a huge distinction. So I feel like that's a very just like you should have had truly there as well, just because it really gives that idea of some places can be safe, but still, right? Yeah. Or at least some places can be bad, but some places can be safe. If they're smart and lucky enough, you shouldn't really force them to not be able to save everyone, but it should be hard to do. Yeah.
Yes.
Dark fantasy to me is characterized by the idea that hanging on to your moral compass and right ideals is hard when saving the greater good. In other words, insert Harvey Dent quote here. Yeah. Fair. Yeah. Did my guy just approve purposely pursuing the TPK the players? If not, it did not sound right. I don't know.
No, he said kill off NPCs.
Oh, okay.
He said killing off NPCs no matter how innocent or hardened they appear.
Gotcha.
Heroes during rests. Even in places where you don't feel like throwing in a whole encounter, you can leave plenty of signs of danger wherever the PCs are exploring, like giant footprints or unintelligible whispers. If the PCs have a home base like a tavern or fortress, then it should be haunted, or populated by sketchy NPCs, or maybe just have it be invaded by zombies if the heroes get too comfortable there. It should be credible that next to no adventurers will ever make it to the higher levels. Next up, you should use monsters that the players aren't familiar with. Dark fantasy is often associated with classic horror creatures like vampires, werewolves, zombies, and the like. While these creatures can help set the vibe of your game, they aren't very threatening to most players today. I totally agree with the idea that the most powerful form of fear is fear of the unknown.
Hey!
Insert quote here.
Yeah, insert Aiden groaning here.
Yeah. So I think I need to reiterate this. Just because it's not scary to your players doesn't mean it can't be scary to the characters.
Yeah.
I don't. Frankenstein's monster is a man that is made of corpses, right? Like,
yes,
dead people, right? Not like the scariest thing. And honestly, I listened to all of the Frankenstein book. Not really the scariest kind of sounding guy. Although you know, looking upon him is probably disgusting. But I feel like even for, I don't know, someone who's never seen a person stitched to another person that does not belong to be stitched to that person, I feel like that'll still be kind of fucked up that they're gonna go, ah! You know?
It's a little fucky.
Little tiny bit. Never mind, I misheard it. Dark fantasy is playing an unsupervised toddler.
Already been deconstructed, humanized, parodied, reimagined, or just plain
okay. No. Bad argument. Okay, first off.
Yeah, very bad.
Again, like, they've already been used too much.
Yes.
Don't use them.
Yeah, so don't do it.
Come on. Let's not. Hot take, if players don't find zombies, skeletons, etc. scary, then that's a failing on the GM to present them as a legitimate threat and as a symptom of an even greater threat. Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree.
Done by pop culture, it's more likely to elicit snores and laughs than scares or thrills. Plus, part of what used to make these monsters so threatening is that they were seemingly impossible to kill. Nowadays, everybody knows that vampires are killed by sunlight, zombies by decapitation, and werewolves by silver. And that'll make them less threatening to your players, even if their characters logically shouldn't be aware of this. You can still use these monsters for your campaign, especially as minions that aren't driving the conflict by themselves. But if you want them to be truly threatening in their own right, then you should add something to them that the players won't expect.
Okay.
Maybe your vampires can steal spellcasting power just as easily as health. Or your werewolves can actually transform into any animal, ranging from bears to eagles. Or you can focus on creatures...
They're just a bad shapeshifter. Okay.
Yeah, although honestly, dude, imagine a were-rock. Like it's a giant, and it's a were-rock. That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean when I say rock, right?
Yeah,
Like the big fuck-off
actual
eagle?
big.
Okay.
Yeah, big.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, that'd be fucking cool. Anyway,
cool.
Go on. Sorry.
No, you're good. I agree about using monsters that are not known. While players can RP fear of classic monsters, aka vampire, I think most players fear something unknown more than classic monsters. That's fair enough.
Lads.
Hello, sir.
Nay, gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
I come to you live from literally just got out of work.
Hey.
And I still have not opened up Alejo's package. So
oh my god, it's happening live?
So here we go.
It is indeed happening live.
We'll do it live.
I hope you enjoy it.
This is from the Ukraine.
It was ordered
smuggled out under gunfire.
It was ordered far before like Christmas.
This will be the second thing from the Ukraine that I have. Alejo, you actually would know the other thing that I have. It's my my necklace. My
okay.
Talos.
Yeah.
What is indeed this? It is tighter in the box than I had expected. Hold on. Box within a box, and the two are practically the exact same size.
Of course.
Alright, box within the box. Damn you, childproof locks. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna scratch my way into it like a raccoon.
Yeah. Embrace it.
Oh god, now there's packing peanuts inside the second box. No.
That's fair.
I just want the gremlin inside me scratches. Are you fucking with me? There is.
Yeah, I just sent you a box of packing peanuts. I hope you.
It's now wrapped. It's now wrapped in paper, but it is big and cup shaped. What be? Oh god! Please get out. The gremlin inside scratches. He wishes to be let free. Yo, The Witcher. Yo. All right. I will take a picture and send it to the stream. The mug is full of packing peanuts.
You gotta drink those.
Yeah, you gotta drink those, obviously. Come on.
Oh, hold on. Let me dump a few more in there, I guess. If I'm going to drink packing peanuts, I'm going to drink
Exactly.
I ain't pussing out.
That's true. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the live unboxing of Aiden's mug.
Dude, Aiden, I'm so fucking mad that you have to get premium Verve just to watch goddamn Demon Slayer. That's such bullshit.
Sounds like that fucking sucks for you, bud. I already had mine.
Lucky you. I mean, I just made because I'm so mad because the only reason why I'm using Verve right now is because kissanime.to got fucking nuked, and now my whole watch list got deleted, and I gotta fucking rebuild a watch list.
I would not say luck had anything to do with it, more that I'm just a fucking weeb.
And yes, that's too.
True.
I should be embarrassed I exist.
No.
Yeah.
True.
Give me a second to go turn the light on in my room so I can go take a decent photo.
Gotcha.
That was funny.
That's a new bot. Wow. That's a new message too. Neato. I'm not gonna, just cause I don't want to give it more attention. There we go. Fucking hell. There we go. Cool.
There we go. There are a couple photos. It's uncompressed.
Nice.
There you are.
I will bring them up.
Nice.
As everyone should know, obviously.
Nice. I see what you did, you shitter.
What I did?
You fucking took it. took a picture of it with all the goddamn packing peanuts in it, so it looks like it's like fucking like frothy head.
I told you I would take a picture of it with the packing peanuts inside it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do it from like top down.
Oh, I mean, I can if you want.
Yeah. No, I just didn't expect that.
No, it's all right, boo. I make good on my promises. You
okay?
Fucking there, jack off to it or something.
I'd rather not.
I would love to. So
I would greatly prefer you didn't actually.
So,
I will admit I'm slightly biased, but I would greatly prefer you didn't.
Well, hey, Aiden, welcome.
Thank you for the mug, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Of course, I figured you'd like it.
I adore tankards of all shapes and sizes.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
And the fact that it has one of my favorite franchises on it makes it that much better.
That's what I figured. There we go. Anyway, welcome to the end of our second year, Aiden. This is our second year already. We're at the end of it.
Wow, you really peaked for a second.
Did I? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we peaked.
Oh.
I
hope that wasn't on the stream too. That sucks.
I didn't actually hear it.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so we're doing just variety grab bag short videos. Just looking at them.
Ooh.
We're ending on a Garabit video. Not a demandment, but it is another Garabit video. One that just as soon as I saw it, I went, huh? So
may I have, if you would be so kind, Linkus.
I will Linkus you. Give me a moment. One Linkus. Two Linkus. There you are.
Delicious.
Anyway, was reading some chats. Okay. Werebadgers are awesome. I had it that all dwarves turn into werebadgers instead of any other wares. That's cool. I can hear you typing.
Oh God!
Right.
Careful.
You're good.
I forgot I turned off noise suppression because a friend of mine enjoys the clicky clacky.
Oh, that's well, we have a random viewer that doesn't, so turn it off.
If I'm in a call with her and she does not hear the clicky clacky, she'll be like, "You bring the clicky clacky back, you son of a bitch."
I understand. The Innistrad game I used to be in stripped the weaknesses away from the vampires except silver to the weak ones and most recently made. Oh, interesting. You sent him a bride from the Ukraine? Lucky guy. Yeah, in a small box. Yep.
He's in pieces.
Yes.
Yes.
The Frankenstein novel isn't shock horror. The horror lies in the fact that Dr. Frankenstein's pursuit of his own high-minded ambition led to something horrible happening. I know. It's just, there is shock horror elements in there in the sense of every time anyone looks at, the monster, they go, ah! Every time. Yeah. And that's the only thing I was referring to. The visage of the monster would be, frightening anyway, to those who did not know. So, Aiden, join the watch together.
That is indeed my name. 1 second, hold on. I am reviewing what a friend's curry. All right. Watch together. Table talk. Host. Watch together. The best part is whenever I go to the Table Talk Discord, I can always just like rest assured in the fact that I'm on the host watch together because I never join any other channel.
I know. Anyway, so this video is just 5 tips for running dark fantasy in D&D. We are getting to tip 4 in a second, I think. This tip was this 2. Tip 2? We're on tip 2? I thought we were on tip 3.
Technically we're on tip 2 right now.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 3.
But they're numbering them 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No. Oh, I thought it was 1. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Regardless. This one is don't use classic horror stuff because it's been overdone and your players won't be as scared. Which and he's recommending souping them up, which before that I was like, no, you can still use them, it's fine. Just because the players aren't necessarily scared doesn't mean that the characters can't be and that you can't have good roleplay. Fear of the unknown. The quote almost happened. Was hoping.
Yeah, the quote.
Don't worry, we got a slight moan. Very good. That's all I needed.
Does Verve not have fucking Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball?
Oh my god.
I used to, but I don't think it does now.
What the fuck? Anyway, go on.
That are less homogenous in terms of abilities, like demons or Lovecraftian horrors. You might want to look into some homebrew creatures, or even design your own, especially if your players are the type to read through the entire monster manual and memorize each creature's vulnerabilities.
Alternatively, hope your players aren't little shits. But even if they are, like me, I would heavily recommend looking through Native American folklore and see what sort of creatures they have, because
they got some good ones.
They have of course like the Wendigo, which is gotten so popular at this point. They had what was it? It was like a red-haired vampire that lived underneath a lake and ate children.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck.
I don't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, but it is now going to bother me.
I understand.
But yeah, just a free tip for you people out there. Do consider that.
Ooh.
Similarly, to keep the players and their characters on their toes, you should include an encounter every so often that the heroes can't solve just by fighting whatever's in front of them.
Sure.
In a typical dark fantasy world, you'll want to drive home the idea that no one can ever fully rid the world of evil. And if the solution to every problem is to just pull out a sword and kill the bad guy, then it'll seem like evil isn't really unstoppable, no matter how many bad guys there are.
So first off, had some hesitations about this until I remembered that it was dark fantasy.
Yeah.
And I would have it so that you can beat every threat that they face. Technically, but like 2 out of the 4 of your party are going to die if you do so.
Yeah.
You can still absolutely slog them down with some shit. And have it so that they can fight it. It's just really not worth it. Which I find to be a far more compelling tale. Secondly, the red-haired vampire that ate children is known as the Apatomkin.
Yeah, Apatomkin, right.
Yep. Was once a human woman who transformed into a serpent.
Yeah. Nice.
If you include other types of encounters, then you can really heighten the sense of dread. The most obvious example is a threat so physically powerful that the heroes have no choice but to either run or hide, which is a type of encounter that I think you should include at least one of in a dark fantasy campaign. But there are other things that you can do to highlight the powerlessness of humanity, such as adding a threat that's completely incorporeal. Maybe there's a haunted mirror where one can occasionally spot a malevolent spirit behind their own reflection that curses anyone who looks upon her. The only way to break the curse is to reunite the spirit with her husband, who happens to be a demon lord. With this approach, there can be plenty of overlap with my...
I remember this episode of Supernatural, first off. Second off, you might have wanted to cut the clip a little sooner because he literally breaks the mirror to stop Sam from dying. Literally a physical act. just you know, it's just it's all. It's just a more a video thing than it is a thing from his thing. You have to go through dark fantasy with a more survivalist mentality over basic hack and slash, or thinking you can out-strategize it until they can properly do the Batman setup to take it down. I think strategy is also something that you could employ. It's just something that is, if you're going to do the strategy thing, you got to do it, like, a lot more flawlessly, quote-unquote.
Yeah.
You know? You have to do it with the least amount of casualties, quote, like, if they're an option.
Previous tip about giving the players tough choices, none of which leave humanity on top. My final piece of advice is to realize that the campaign will probably get progressively less dark as the characters level up. During those first few levels, the PCs are going to feel vulnerable. They might have some useful skills or minor supernatural powers, but in a world full of evil, death can be delivered by just about anything. But by the time they reach 5th level or so, they become noticeably superhuman, able to shoot a perfectly accurate arrow in less than 2 seconds, or fall 50 feet and fight on like nothing's happened. At this point, it's pretty much impossible to do straight-up horror, but I think it can still qualify as dark fantasy as long as evil is still more powerful than good. At some point, though, if the PCs keep leveling up, they'll be able to do things like resurrect the dead or teleport between planes of existence. No dark story that I can think of has that level of power in the hands of clearly heroic characters, since at that point, they're no longer just trying to survive in a bleak world, but instead they legitimately seem like they can push back against whatever ultimate evil is plaguing the world in the first place. Because of this, if you're running a dark fantasy game, I think that you should plan on either stopping at a relatively low level, or eventually changing the tone of the campaign. You could also just make encounters so difficult that you don't expect the PCs to survive past the first few levels, but reward them if they manage to pull it off. That does necessitate a very combat-focused game, but it could be a lot of fun with the right group of people. So, yeah.
So, whilst I agree with leveling making it harder to have them be horrified, because they're so fucking powerful at a certain point, I wouldn't say that it's impossible. Right?
It'd just be very difficult.
Yeah, it'd just be extremely... Like, Strahd is something that might not be horrifying, but Strahd is a powerful entity that, commands respect, if you will. And
Yeah,
and like, actually is something that is he's a threat more, like, through the entire campaign until you can actually, like, defeat him, right? So, and I don't know, I guess I'm taking more from my experience with running Expedition to Castle Ravenloft in 3.5, where I could still do things that were not necessarily horrific, but definitely potentially horrific, I guess. I don't know, turning an entire forest into the Protozoan era. You know, like using things that aren't just the, I guess that is using the overwhelmingly threatening thing, but it isn't something that is overwhelmingly threatening and going to kill you immediately, you know? It's something that is there to corrupt you in the sense of the dark powers, right? They are there, they are a constant threat. They keep your tether to your god away. You know, they put this land in eternal darkness and they control it. But they aren't necessarily, like, ultimately malevolent towards you all the time. Even though they kind of are, but you know what I mean. They aren't openly hostile. That's the one.
Yeah.
Many things. You can beat Strahd in a straight up fight. It's just hard, and you have to do some other stuff first. That's true. But it's I think it's more what he can do with his like his powers and like his control of the area. That is what really is the threat. More so than just him. Like he is a threat, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I think there's more to him than just him. The solution of higher level PCs is balancing the horrors they encounter to properly counter the most commonly used skills or magic, and also having these superhuman abilities and high magic be costly. So I don't want to go as far as to say like no you know, whenever they encounter something, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You just counter whatever they can do. Like, you can do it with some things, but always have it so that there's an option that they could maybe figure out that they also have access to, whether it be spells or environmental or, you know, a weapon or, you know, a piece of lore that they have learned. Something. Dark fantasy, it depends on the system and the foes. Yes. Strahd's own weakness is the DM, honestly. But then again, I really love Ravenloft and know way too much about it, so he should never actually be killed. Oh, he never is. That's the thing. He's never dead. He always comes back.
He's defeated.
Yes, he is defeated. And then the Dark Powers go, hey, guess what? Idiot.
He back.
He can't die, but he can be made a paraplegic.
That's true. That is what happened.
Or quadriplegic, technically.
Yeah, I don't agree with this idea that the evil should be too powerful to fight. Plenty of horror games out there where you fight your way through the enemies, but they're still scary. Resident Evil. Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different examples, right? Like it's all there. Anyway, only like 20 seconds. Here we go.
Yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think of this advice, or if you have any of your own for running a dark fantasy game. I'm definitely thinking of making some more subgenre related videos in the future, so let me know if there's any that you're interested in. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Okay.
Not bad.
No, it's not bad. Really not. I just the persistent idea that metagaming is the like something that everyone will do is one of those things that it just keeps popping up just because people seem to think that.
It's very strange.
It is. I don't know.
Because it seems like I don't know if they've like had bad experiences where like
no, I think so.
They try to.
Well, sorry. Go on.
Well, it just seems like a lot of the people that make these videos that always say it's like, you know, if your players are the type to look through the monster manual and memorize their shit, like it seems like they may have had bad experiences with players where they're like,
yeah,
I don't get that feeling.
I don't think so. This is my theory is that it's the popular parrot piece, right?
Oh, yeah, you know, that's fair.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. Everyone says this, so it must be true.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people just parrot that shit out and they don't think about it really because it's just everybody talks about it, everybody accepts it, and it's like, well, have you ever encountered this yourself? You could ask them, and 9 times out of 10 I feel like they'd say no.
Yeah.
Or at least not to a degree where it actually like was a difference to their campaign, like it ruined it or anything, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think they have people going, actually, the werewolf should only be vulnerable when you have silver weapons. And it's like, oh, shut up, dude. No. But, yeah, so, I don't know. Other than that kind of stuff and the dissuading of using classic monsters, I'm alright with it.
Oh, there it is.
The high likelihood of dying and what happens if you die makes it still scary. Yes. Death is something that should be used in something like that, I think.
Yes.
To a high extent. It isn't so much as metagaming is a problem, it's that if everyone is honestly curious. It's some players push to shove, want to win, and have their characters continue on. Well, so that is the metagame, though. They are going to go and read it and then use that knowledge to their advantage when their character doesn't know it. That's what we're talking about. Like, if they go and read the monster manual, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. As long as when we're fighting the werewolf, the person doesn't go, oh, I should take out my silver pendant that I've had since I was a boy and attach it to my spear and start shoving it into the werewolf because I know, like without any knowledge whatsoever. If players want to DM in the future, they will need to know something about the monsters. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's also true.
An issue I don't think it was talked about is players going in with an idea of dark fantasy, but the end result is too overwhelming and it dissuades them or makes something inappropriate for the setting. Yeah, that could happen. Absolutely. That's why you have a session 0 where you clearly lay out everything that might happen, everything that will happen, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
If you know something, sometimes you'll still act on it, regardless how much you try not to do it. It's like a reaction that I even try really hard not to do. Yeah, well, so that's also true. But the way that everyone frames it is that your little shitbag player is gonna go read the monster manual and look at all the stats and go, I know how to beat everything.
Yeah,
it's like, and unless you're literally playing with a child, like I don't know. I don't see that popping up too much. Because like we've had this happen in Astatine. Literally in Astatine, it happened in session 4. If you go back and listen to it and watch it. And in session 5 that's coming out tomorrow, you can also hear when Boo was talking about it again, where he was like, "Now can I look up at the moon?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So it's just a thing that happens, and that's fair enough. And as long as you own up to it, and then you go, I won't, I'll try not to do that in the future. Like, there's no issue, not as much of an issue as it seems to be that it keeps needing to be brought up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The advice I would have is sometimes you're gonna fuck up. That's okay. Right?
Yeah, you will make fucking newsflash. You will make mistakes.
That's all right.
Yeah. Learn how to fail forward.
Exactly. The good thing is, my group, we do a really good job of holding each other accountable. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I get session 0 is meant to set parameters and draws the line of what the game is, but when session 1 comes and it turns out to be more than they can handle, I can see them avoiding this genre. And that's fair. Yeah. Sometimes it's just not for them, and you won't know until you actually get into that game, right? But that's just comes with experience. The problem with metagaming is when you make it a goal. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that is the problem. Anyway, let us move on to the second video. This one is brought to us by D&D with Me, the channel, and it's called How to Avoid Railroading in Your D&D Campaign. So it's 7 minutes and 7.5 minutes or so. So let's see what this person has to say.
Imagine your players find themselves in a room with 4 doors. Now the door on the far left is where the epic boss fight is. That's what you have in your notes. But they picked the door on the far right? Now you're probably thinking to yourself, the door on the far right? I don't even know what's behind that door. I have nothing written there. So you actually
Why do you have a door on the right?
That door's locked. Actually, you try all the other doors.
Have we watched this?
No.
Are you sure?
No, we have not. Yes.
Did I watch this?
I don't think so.
You might have, but I haven't.
I might have watched this. Okay. I can't remember. If somebody knows if we watched this, please let me know. But I made sure to check most of the videos, and I'm pretty sure we haven't watched this. But now it's it's hitting me super hard that I think I've seen this. Sorry.
You might have. I have not.
Yeah. It was back when I actually watched things before I put it on the show. Also, I feel like I can still make a werewolf scary even if the characters know about silver, even if they brought an alchemical silver dagger with them, it's still a strong monster. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Why don't you know what's behind door number 2? That's true.
Yeah, it's like, why do you have 2 doors? Why did you write 2 doors if you don't have anything behind it?
Hey,
don't
man,
have it.
This room, it has multiple doors. The one door, And then that one over there that I also included in the room. Don't worry about that one, though.
Yeah.
I just included it because doors.
Yep.
Okay.
They're locked too, but the one on the far left has a busted lock. Does that sound familiar? Because, my friend, that is a very basic example of railroading. In this video, we're going to go over a few tips on how to avoid railroading in your games. I'm Peter, and this is
Hello,
D&D
Peter.
with me.
Loud in comparison.
Yep.
Hello all, and welcome to D&D with me. I'm Peter. I've been a DM for about 4 years now, and it's something that's become quite an obsession.
Good.
So, what is railroading? Railroading is taking reasonable options out of the player's hands and forcing them down one path. It's kind of like being on a ride at Disney World. You're strapped in, you're seeing the scenery, but you can't go out and touch it and change anything.
I'm so angry about that.
Oh, well.
Okay. Because it's such a... Well, okay. See, here's the thing. That is not an incorrect way to describe railroading.
No.
But I was so hoping that he was going to be like, that's railroading. It's kind of like being on a train on a railroad track. Just describing the most blatant...
You know, going to the ticket window and buying a ticket for the train and expecting to go into the same destination that you bought the ticket for.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting in your car, driving on only the roads.
Yeah. Driving on a one-way street. Oh,
yeah,
one
it's
way.
like that. Fuck that. I just would have loved that so much. I feel like that's such a missed opportunity. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
You're good. Rogue. That third door looks boring. I'm gonna unlock the second one. Exactly. Yeah. This video is triggering my PTSD with bubble wrap GM railroading hell. In the end, it was a dragon. Fair enough. Yeah. Don't worry. I had to go through two paths. One went through the forest. The other went to the town. I ended up at the town by going through the forest.
There you go. I was wondering how long it would take until someone brought it up.
Yeah.
At Disney World. You're strapped in, you're seeing the scenery, but you can't go out and touch it and change anything because last time that happened, you got kicked out by the park security. Honestly, I was guilty of railroading in my first session. I wrote down so much that I wanted the players to hit. I would actually force them down a little mini path, even though they didn't know because it was their first time playing. And now that I've had more sessions, I've learned how to avoid railroading. And let's go over a few tips right now. Tip number 1, avoid over-planning.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
You're not writing a book. You're not an author. And if you are, thank you, congratulations. I don't read that much, but I'm sure you're doing great. But if you want your players...
Whoa, I feel called out.
Sorry. I like this guy. I just wanted to say.
It's good.
That was a good joke.
Yeah. I feel called out, though.
Get fucked, author boy.
Yeah, I know. Oh, hang on, stop playing.
Sorry.
Oh, no. So, one of the things he says, like, avoid overriding so you can avoid railroading.
Yeah.
The one time when I, like, did somewhat, like, railroad my players was in a one-shot. Actually, Brogan took part in it. And literally, I had next to nothing written for this one shot.
Oh, really?
It was just supposed to be the party goes up the hill and fights, and they have a big boss, like a big Kingdom Hearts-esque boss battle.
Right, okay. So,
but,
nonsensical plot. I got you.
Yeah, literally nonsensical.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And I told them as such beforehand.
Oh, good.
I'm like, you are in an anime today. And they're like, I'm sick because we were down there at an anime convention.
Weeb?
Yes. Anyway, what was I going to say?
Railroad.
They all just decided that they just didn't want to go and fight. And I was like, well, I kind of need you to if there's going to be a plot because the city exists on a white landscape
And there's only that drawn hill over there. The storyboards are right here. Look at them.
Yeah. The manga only mentions this.
Yeah, I guess too little preparation can also sometimes lead to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's also one of those things of how good at improv are you? You know?
Yeah.
Are you confident in your skills at whatever stage of writing the thing out? You know? Because I like for Astatine, I literally got names, I got descriptions, and I got in my head a lot of the stuff, right? That's basically all that I have. And then I'm just going with the map from Google Maps, because that's really convenient and nice. And like Toby's house, I drew that while you guys were in it, like it was just
welcome to my world,
right? Like there was just
drawing the shit.
It was neat. Like that's how I usually do it. It's just like once you get to a place, then I'll draw it out and we'll start describing what you're seeing and all that shit. And then if you have more questions, I go, oh yeah, that's also here, or oh no, that's not there. But
it's kind of like when somebody wants to fucking steal a ding-a-ling from the counter.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about that being there until somebody wanted to fucking steal it.
Exactly, yeah.
So, there you
go. Grandpa always told me never walk into the white zone. No one has ever returned from its non-existent borders. Fair.
But if you want your players to follow your story to the T, they might as well be reading it and not playing it.
True.
D&D is about collaborative storytelling, and the moment you take that agency away from a player, that fun's gone for them. Like I said previously,
unless they don't know.
I was guilty of railroading. Even though I didn't know it or not, I would set high DCs on things that I didn't want to happen, or the big bad guy ended up escaping when a perfectly good, reasonable vine whip happened. I'm sorry, by the way, if you're watching. Later on, I found out that collaborative storytelling is honestly the best way to experience D&D, even for new players. I actually love when my players come up with something that is completely and totally off my plan. Point number 2, be flexible. Let the players pick the path. Just because you need them to go to a specific spot or speak to a specific person doesn't mean it always has to be in the same spot. For instance, if the players need to speak to the blacksmith because he's got a secret hammer that he can make to bring down the thunders. Why did I just do that? And they go to the tavern instead? Well, guess what? That dwarf blacksmith is now having a good old drink at the bar. And eventually, they might even talk to him. I find making quick jot notes are the best way to play and prepare for a session. That way, if something goes off the rails, it usually does, you can quickly adapt and change the plan. Tip number...
I find myself semi-agreeing with his dwarf that goes to the tavern.
Yep. I wonder if it's for the same reason.
In a scenario like this, where it is simply a dwarf going to the tavern, then have the dwarf that evening go to the tavern after his work is done. That is a perfectly acceptable use of recycling content in a way that it becomes front-loaded for your players. However, you can't take that mentality and start painting in broad strokes with it.
Exactly.
You can't have a troll that is on a path outside the city, and I've been calling it the hyperdimensional troll.
I understand.
Because if they're going to go east out of the city and get attacked by a troll, but they decide to go west instead, you can't have it be a hyperdimensional troll that lives on both paths.
It's Schrodinger's troll. It's either there or it's not.
Yeah, you're a DM. You're supposed to create the entirety of the world. Be creative. Create a new threat.
Yeah, my whole thing is I find it's fine for players to miss something. You know, like that's just like I've said this many a time, I think. But you are role playing a life a lot of the time, and not everything goes exactly the way that it needs to in order for you to continue on this journey, whatever you're going on. Whether or not it's the troll, the blacksmith, whatever. I feel like it's fine if they don't go for it and they don't get there immediately. If you really need to get them somewhere, you can figure out how to get them there. You know, like you can really give them reasons to go and investigate this thing. Cause like, I don't know, man, overhearing people talking about the blacksmith in the tavern when the blacksmith is working in his shop doesn't seem unreasonable to me, right? Like it's just like, hey, fucking, you know, Bjorn over there, fucking Bjorn makes the best shit. God, he makes such good weapons and shit. I'm so happy that I bought this because now I can protect my family on my farm. You know, like, I don't know. It seems logical to me that somebody would be talking to their friends and going, "Man, this is great." Anything like that, or like if it's a big story point, man, it feels so weird for me to just go, "Yeah, you guys are going left towards the big city over there when you're not going to the small village over here that I thought you were going to. Guess I'll just transplant the thing." It's so weird. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me.
I do agree with that point, but I think that you are underestimating the player's ability to ignore obvious hints and clues.
So
because you can obviously, you know, if you want to have the dwarf be in the tavern and they are in the blacksmith and they go to the tavern and you spout off all that stuff about the blacksmith,
right?
There's still a pretty good chance that they'll be like, "Oh, it's neat. Okay, let's go."
There is, yeah, but I feel like you should have a contingency for that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. I feel like regardless of how blatant you are, right?
Yeah.
You should always have a backup plan of, like, if I really need them to get somewhere, then I will get them there somehow, right?
Yeah.
But not going, "Hey, guys,
go there,
right? Like, you don't want to railroad them to that. You just go, "Hey, man."
And
fucking things.
I think instead of all of that, I would just say, don't write your story so that it hinges all on them going to see one random character. Or not random, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so there are specific things in your story that might be like for specific people to be met, right? The ancient wizard who's going to give them the best spell, right? Like the spell that you have handcrafted for your wizard, so that they would be like, "Oh fuck, this is my spell," right? That you're probably not gonna get that from anybody else, right? Like, and if they don't go to
not with that attitude, no.
Well, if you have handcrafted this for this character to like, and maybe the wizard themselves like has some sort of connection, right? To the ancient wizard. But regardless, you've made this kind of thing, and if they never go there, then it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should hint it for them. And if they keep like not having the hint, then it's like, okay, go, you know? But I feel like for something that's like a threat, the threat is easy to get them to pay attention to because you just make the threat worse, right?
Yeah, that's easy.
That stuff's easy. Like with meeting people that aren't threats, it can be a little more difficult. Like my old man wizard, he's over in the west, and he sits in his tower alone, waiting. Waiting
staring
for his
at the wall.
Yeah, he stares at the wall. It's got a bunch of scribbles on it and stuff, and then he's got one scroll on him. You know, that's the wizard. He's over there. But he's like that for a reason. Don't worry about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Of course.
But you know, you just gotta you gotta get them to there at some point, I would say. But I also think, again, don't need to transplant.
If that's the case, it just needs to be a far more direct thing.
Exactly.
Like, instead of it being like, oh, you hear about this wizard who's waiting for a guy. Instead of it being like that, you say, you know, you have their boss or the king or the duke be like, hey, go talk to this guy, and just flat out tell them to do it effectively in character.
Yeah, I
like
think
if that is something that absolutely has to happen and they continue to ignore it, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. Like at some point you're gonna have to do the last resort of like somebody in the world just tells you to do something, you know, that you'll actually listen to. And even then, if they don't, then it's like, okay, fuck it. I guess I'll just throw this scroll away.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, it's like, okay. But
hopefully it doesn't get to that point, but.
Yeah.
So there is something that I have done, and am currently well, I haven't done it yet technically, but I am experimenting. Yeah. So there is my world, with a country in it called Perignus. And the party is still trying to decide the route that they want to take to go to the place that they want to go, because there's no easy route to take. So they're like, oh, maybe we'll go this way and cut through this forest. Oh, well, maybe we'll go take a barge down this river. Oh, well, we can just walk around and stay on the roads because the roads are safer.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. And I have stuff planned for all three of their options.
Yep.
Part of which is I looked up Native American folklore and grabbed what was scary.
Yep.
But I knew that they would be going through, like, pretty much the route, no matter what they chose, they would go through 3 or 4 towns.
Sure.
And I didn't want to design 12 or 16 towns.
Sure.
So what I did instead was I designed 3 to 4 towns. I filled them full of NPCs, made each town have a story that I could adapt as necessary, and I left the name of that town blank. And based on whether they go the north route, the middle route, or the south route, I will name them accordingly and then change the story for each city to change.
Yeah.
I would consider that it sort of scratches the border of being Schrodinger's town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's egregious.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's literally just so I can design 3 towns instead of 12.
Yeah.
Designing a 12 is a bitch and a half.
Yeah. Well, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, go on.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like after that you're going to, if they ever go the other ways, you'll design towns at that point, right? Like you'll figure out if there are towns there, or you know, like what the terrain is and all that kind of stuff, and what they could encounter that way, instead of, you know, needing to worry about transplanting these towns again. Like that's the difference basically that I would see in the forcing them down a route and giving them a route that is something that you've planned out, so that you don't have to worry about the other routes at the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like literally it's they aren't going to talk to Jimmy the blacksmith and go down the road and talk to Jimmy the blacksmith.
Right.
It's because I only planned for there being Jimmy the blacksmith along this route.
Right.
So much as I designed a bunch of towns, and I was like, I can design the stories of each town vague enough that I can then more precisely put them on the map, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Avoid no. This man is speaking blasphemy to my life philosophy. Say no to everything. Well, the avoid no, I hope, is with a caveat of sometimes you can say no, because I feel like there needs to be that caveat. Yosh, hey, what's up, Pizza Funk? Have the troll drinking at the tavern if the players miss it. I'm joking. Fair enough.
I'll fucking do it.
He's there. He's there right now.
Dude, yeah. Fucking sucks, too, trying to get drunk if you're a troll.
Yeah. You should try to have player choices matter as much as you can, but if it comes down to it, they don't have to know what's happening behind the curtain. Just don't ever destroy the illusion. Yeah. Anyway, avoid no.
Avoid saying no, with some precautions.
Hey!
If a player has a perfectly good and reasonable action, why are you going to say no? Obviously, you have the murder hobos out there that are going to end up wanting to kill everyone in the village. And I mean, in some roles, that is a reasonable response. But obviously, this is where we rein in the players. If the players can explain what they want to do clearly and it still gets you closer to that goal that you needed them to hit for the next point in the story, guess what? It's going to happen. It sounds like a great idea. You want to bring player agency into your games.
Yes.
It's honestly the best part of playing D&D with people. Tip number 4, drop hints. Like Hansel and Gretel. I don't even remember that fairy tale. Never mind, we're not doing that one. Hansel and Gretel did breadcrumbs. That's all I remember. When I find that my players are getting a little bit off the beaten path with the story, I introduce a kick in the door mechanic. Now, if some of you DMs might know this, but a kick in the door mechanic, if those who don't know, is literally a kick in the door mechanic. They're sitting in the tavern and they're just in their drinks, playing cards, gambling, throwing knives at the waiters. And then all of a sudden, bandits break in through the door. They attack them. An assassin drops from the rafters. Obviously not at the same time, but when they kill that assassin,
maybe
stop those thieves, or they kidnap one of those thieves, they're going to find out that that thief or that assassin was sent forth from the big bad that brings them back on the story, or some other part of the story that you need them to go. You can also drop hints by having people, hear rumors in town about something going on in the well, or someone poisoned the water hole. As I said, I like to introduce these when the story seems to be stagnating, and I like to try and introduce it organically. Don't try and shove it down their throats. If there's a chance where you can...
That sounds the exact opposite of what a kick in the door mechanic is.
Yeah.
If you're going to have the door kicked in by the thief. But that's a side point. That's neither here nor there. The reason why I paused was because I had to do something recently that bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been, I don't know, I wasn't raised Catholic.
Okay, continue.
I had to do something a while I say a while ago. It was literally like 2 or 3 nights.
A while ago.
So it was a while ago. When my the rogue in my party first started getting interested in D&D, because I was the one who introduced her to the idea of Dungeons and Dragons just in general. And she said the thing that she should never say to me, which is, I would like to play D&D sometime. Which is saying to the vampire, please come in.
Yeah. It's saying to the dice gremlin, you want some dice?
Literally. Like I went to a local bookshop and bought dice for all of my players. Because only one of them had like one set of dice. But they finally took part in the campaign, and the rogue in my party is obsessed with dragons.
Okay.
1 second. She is obsessed with dragons. And she discovered that there were things called pseudo dragons.
Yes.
Which are kind of a bitchin' pet to have.
Yeah.
But over after time, I introduced the concept of the Pathfinder 2e Shadow Drake.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I basically took a picture and I sent it to her, and I'm like, yeah, how's this look? Maybe and she had been wanting a Shadow Drake or a Pseudo Dragon pet. And I'm like, find a way to find this Shadow Drake. I won't give it to you guys, but it is now in the world, and if you do a side quest in a particular way, you can get this pet. And even still, it can of its own volition leave the party. Like if it is mistreated or not like given pets or food or whatever the fuck.
You have to give your pet pets? Oh, pets. Oh, like you have to pet it.
Yeah, or you can give your pet pets and like give the Shadow Drake a mouse.
That would be adorable. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, it would be adorable until it starts eating.
Well, it's a pet. It's not going to eat its pet. Maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway.
The Shadow Drake was at one location that I chose, and I have to design the dungeon for. But anyway, I knew where it was, and the same member of the party that when he was being given the quest with the vines, and he said the thing which kills my soul and I will remember until I die of sounds like a job for the professionals. Said something. He said, what if we have to go to this other country, talk to a mages guild, and deliver news of what this vine is back to the town? What if instead we simply hire a courier with all of this news, and then they give all of the gold to the courier, and the courier brings us back the money? And despite all this, I was like, well, that's if you can trust the courier to not skim a lot of money off the top, but you can do that. That's where because the Shadow Drake is in the first country, at a dungeon, I was like, I can't throw this quest at my friends and literally tell my friend, hey, this is the quest with the Shadow Drake at the end, and I dangle that little carrot in front of her face.
Right.
And then they choose the bitch way, the courier way out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do I do this? So I impose heavy tariffs. If you're trying to send mail from one country to another, you are gotta be paying a lot of price or a lot of taxes. So seemingly unperturbed by this and the fact that the courier might be taking a lot of fucking money, they're like, yeah, this is what
we want to do.
Yeah. And
it's
a
good idea, I promise.
This friend a few nights ago, and I was like, hey, let's both think critically. Let's think logically. And I was like, Aiden's a storyteller and trying various different methods. Let's see if I can find storyteller. Yeah. I'm like, let's think critically. Consider, Aiden's a storyteller. Aiden wants me to find the Drake, but can't give it to me because it's narratively unsatisfactory to do so. Aiden gives us all quests, in which finding the dragon at the end of one would be satisfactory. Aiden has said before that the dragon is at the end of a quest. Aiden says we are close to encountering, the name of the dragon, Fenrith. What quests do we have? Can we maybe prioritize such that we farm the ends of quests? Trying to get her to think. I literally mentioned, let me send you a screenshot. And I hinted at, like, oh, the party wants to go somewhere that is the opposite of where the dragon is. And she sends back this. Which is labeled where the party wants to go, and the opposite direction, which is the town they were just in. And I'm like, how about that? It's literally in the opposite cardinal direction. Yes, I did send them your map. Sorry, she's in here listening to this. Because I was like, in chat now. So it's a I wouldn't say it's railroading so much as like sitting down and taking the player by the hand and going, look
at this.
I've been hinting at this for 4 months. Consider. Which is sort of the kicking in the door method described in the video, but also kind of not, because it's going, dumbass, look.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll admit, perhaps one of the times where I, as a storyteller, have been the most overt I have ever been, but I did not specifically say where it was until after the location was figured out.
Right.
But I was like, do consider everything that you have seen and heard thus far and make an informed decision, maybe.
I have given you the clues, the keys, in fact. Could
keys.
You think for a moment?
I have said, literally, the party wants to go in the opposite direction of where the dragon is. I can't. If that is not enough of a hint, I cannot help you.
Yeah. Not necessarily kicking the door in, more scooting them through the door to have a look.
Yeah.
Throwing their head through the window slightly.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, it's less kicking in the door and more kicking in the teeth and shoving the face through the window.
Yeah, it's like the Jason method.
Yes, the Jason method. Very good. I like this.
It's kind of like why they say, like, if a dog pees inside, you need to make the dog, like, you need to put the dog's face in it, which always kind of struck me weird.
It's so strange. I would never do that.
I'm not a pet owner, so I can't comment one way or the other, but it kind of makes my soul feel a little icky.
Having had 2 dogs, never did that. That's stupid.
Yeah, it's essentially just abuse.
Yeah, it kind of does not rest comfortably in the soul.
It does not bring joy, in fact.
Yeah. It does not spark joy. But that is narratively what sometimes you have to do as a DM.
Let's see. Okay. Villagers have like 50 or more people in them. Villages. 4 people trying to kill them all. It's not really going to end well for that group. Yeah. Obviously it's just a, example. And he said he wants to do it organically, which I was very much a fan of hearing that, because otherwise he was, the implication of bandits,
Yeah.
I'll drop all that plus my undead legions and sink. That's fair. Yes, throw it all at them. My pets have pets. Pet feudalism. Exactly, Lux. Exactly. All right, let's continue. Let me get us back over here. There we go.
Introduce a kick in the door mechanic organically. It makes the game seem so much more interesting. For instance, when my players were playing in, I think, their second or third session, they happened upon a settlement which was under attack from a zombie force. Now, the players didn't know how to get in the door or really even go any further. So I rolled a d8, and every number on that d8 was assigned to a player in the party. Yes, I was playing with 8 people. It was insane.
Holy shit.
And one of the zombies bit the person. So that was a kick in the door mechanic because they had to figure out where the zombies were coming from. They ended up opening up the zombies.
Oh, Jesus, so loud. Stop.
As I said, though, kick in the door mechanics really know how to kickstart. Oh, that was so terrible. They know how to kickstart the story. Tip number 5. Railroading does not mean having a plan. I know this kind of contradicts the first few points that I have here, but when you're running a multi-session campaign, as I'm sure most of you are, you're going to have an idea of where your story is going to go. You have to have points that you know that the players need to hit. That might change along the way with player agency and player storylines progressing. But incorporating the previous tips of being flexible, not over planning, and dropping hints allow to move that plan along organically and without the players knowing, aka organically. Why can't I speak? Well, Dungeoneers, that's what you guys are called now.
Hey, those loud sound effects are getting real fucking old.
Yeah, obviously...
I would beg of you, speaking as someone who has never had to do sound balancing before in a video, I am fully going to reprimand you for not doing any sound balancing.
Well, so, like, obviously, it's... overall, the video's fine. It's just those
The points
things.
are fine.
Yeah, the points are fine. The video construction, like, I don't know when this was from. It's probably older at this, like, if I had to guess. I don't remember when. I could look actually right now. But looking at your timeline on your video editing software, you can see the spikes of audio. Speaking as somebody who has to deal with that shit a lot, fucking look at it, maybe a little bit. Oh, August 5th, 2020. There you go. Okay, 2 years ago. That's not too late. Okay. Anyway,
that's not a good sign.
No.
So the friend, the rogue, was joined specifically because I was telling the story about her, and she said, I said narratively, that's what I had to do to get you to notice, dense bitch. Right, and she's like, I know, because I am Captain Oblivious.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, bitch, you the damn general.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope quality of making those videos has improved, that you've looked at your timeline a couple of times. That would be nice. But yeah, okay. So overall, tips, good. Look at your timeline.
So, good advice when taken with a very fine brush.
Yep.
However, I find myself concerned that because this is mentioned so broadly, so sweepingly, that people out there may find themselves painting with a broader brush than they should.
How would you narrow it down?
I would simply mention and give an example of, like, do this, have the towns all have different names but different names or undetermined names, but fixed NPC names. Don't do this, and then give the example of the one shot I made.
Right.
Yeah. So I believe further specification would be required.
Yeah, just to really drive the point home.
Overall, if I'm just reviewing this video simply for its content, I would say yes, it has good advice.
Yeah.
But the implications of when you take that content out, of when you expand that content, can become problematic potentially. Well, not necessarily.
I was gonna say, I don't find myself in that same position. I think it's fine overall. Just because the broader stroke, the people that are going to be the broader strokes are going to be the newer people who aren't as experienced and thus can refine with those broader strokes that they have been presented. So thus they can learn to sharpen them, if you will, get those tiny details and stuff as they continue forward. For this one specifically, just because it's a good basis, I think. It doesn't have anything that is more problematic than some of the other ones that we've seen. Maybe we're just comparing it too much to other content that we've seen. And that's why I'm not as harsh as I perhaps should be. But I don't know. Too many jump scares? Yes. Unintentional, yes. August 5th is a jerk. You see that guy, you ban him immediately. All right, August. All right. Okay, so that is midpoint time, everyone. Wow, you made it to the midpoint. We've covered 2 videos in fucking an hour and 46 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
It's a fucking record.
Yeah, it actually is.
It really is. So I would humbly like to ask for your moment of your time to talk about
donating your money to us.
Well, yes, but in a much less aggressive way.
Please donate your money to us.
We have patrons. We have a Patreon, in fact. And of course, I will shout them out right now before I go into it any further. Thank you to Draco Kraken. You've been in the chat. At tier 4, thank you so much. Mog Zero, also been in the chat. Thank you as well at that tier 4. Slazer, just name after name, you've been in the chat. I've seen you. At tier 4, thank you as well. Steely, unfortunately, not in the chat, but I thank you all the same at that tier 4. Drake Cross, at tier 3, holding that line. What's tier 1? Oh, I'll get there. Chris at tier 2, thank you. Lux at tier 2, thank you as well. And Frozen Spaghetti at tier 2, thank you. And finally, Kill Chrono, who actually left a comment that we will get to at some point, but actually left a comment recently. So good to hear from you if you're watching this at that tier 2. Thank you. So tier 1, Mog, since you've asked, is I believe it's $1. I believe I set it to $1 because it's just if somebody wants to just put in $1, you know? It adds up. It is just $1 a month if you want. Other than that, the $5 at tier 2, $10 at tier 3, $4, $20, $15 at tier 4. Hello, I haven't had sleep for a while. And
I can't hear you over my 48 ounces of cold brew espresso.
Oh, that does sound good.
That just happened.
Yes, so those who are at tier 2 and above, you will be getting a free pair of dice, set of dice, when those become available. Other, you know, if you want it otherwise, you will have to buy it when it comes out. But everything, all the donations and such from the Patreon are going towards the dice fund, creating our own custom dice. So if you want to help out with that, either you can join the Patreon, or you can donate in the chat, or you can donate on our website, or you can buy from the TeePublic. We have a logo that you can put on a shirt, you can put on a mug, you can put on some wall art, all that kind of stuff, and a percentage of it also goes towards the artist who designed it, as a thank you. And, of course, other than that, you can buy through Humble, through our link, Humble Bundle. You can go there, you can give to charity and get games. Very cool. I just got this Humble Choice for January not too long ago. It's full of good stuff. Mafia Definitive Edition, Project Winter, Iron Harvest. They're all pretty good. And there's a bunch of other bundles too. They also have the occasional tabletop specific bundles that you can go through and get. Right now I think they are mostly 3D printed stuff. Yeah. 2D and 3D printables for this Dragon Lock at Ravenfell, and there was another one, though it might be gone. No, Dungeons and Monsters 3D printable tabletop bundle for those who have 3D printers. And then, of course, all the games and such, and other software. Humble's great. Go buy through our link, and you will support us and Tabletop Alliance, a charity that uses tabletop games to promote community. And a link to them is in the description of this, and you can also just find them on the web and read about them. So I saw a question on how close are we to the Dice Fund, and honestly, I haven't looked for a little while. So I will find out.
Probably check.
I will find out as you find out, but I don't think we're incredibly close. I think we're a third of the way through, if I had to guess. So give me just a moment here, whilst I look at a couple of different things. Let's see. Oh, we have a good balance there, and let me go into the PayPal. It's going to take me a minute because it's two-factor authentication because I'm safe. Because I don't want people to steal the money by hacking into my PayPal that I set up for the show. So I apologize for this delay in the content whilst I look this up, because I don't think about these things in advance. So when people ask a question about money, I go, haha, I don't know. What was the password that I put for this? That's a great question.
1 2 3 4 5.
That's right. That's exactly it. Good job, Boo. You've made it so everyone can access.
Cracked it.
Yeah.
Cracked the fucking code.
Access our account.
The username is TableTalk12345.
Ah.
The password is 12345.
I was gonna say the username was username. What do you mean the username isn't just username?
What do you mean the password isn't just password?
Yeah.
At the moment, we are at $676.51.
Oh man, that's a Bio Titan and a Sciatyra duel.
That's true, but it's not going to that, I promise. We're getting there. We're nearly halfway actually to achieving that goal.
Wait, I thought it was only 1,000.
No.
Our dice are fucking expensive.
Because they have to make them custom. They have to do like
shape
the custom
and just put
shit.
a fucking
and
fucking
also
geometric shape and then engrave some shit on it.
And also they're quality dice.
Oh,
that's the thing. I don't want them to be some shitty everyday. You go in the store, you find a box of dice, and you go, "That's basically this."
These ain't Chessex dice.
No, they are not. No, they are not.
We deserve better than Chessex dice.
Well,
and better terms and conditions may apply.
Right. There you go. So we're sourcing them through Q Workshop, And we'll
thought you
get
said
them.
we deserved better than Chess-X.
They are. What do you mean? Key Workshop it looks good.
Yeah, they're fine.
They look good. What? Hey man, otherwise I'd have to try to get a sponsorship with fucking other things, and they don't care about us, okay?
Yeah, it's true.
They don't give a fuck about us. Maybe we can re-release, custom dice in the future if we ever get big enough, sure.
Yeah, get Wormwood on that.
Hey man, they would never. But anyway, so that's where we're at for that. It's coming. Yeah. So don't you worry, everyone. That is the thing. When you asked for a moment of my time, I was worried you were going to try to sell me NFTs like August the 5th. That's fair. Gotta have diamond hands to flip those.
We'll be selling each individual letter of TableTalk discussion and discourse as an NFT.
No. Yeah. I swear to God, if anybody makes an NFT of our shit, I will be upset with you, and I will do something. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out what I can do.
I'll buy it all. That way, I'm the sole owner.
Right, exactly. I'll spend $30 million to buy them all, so no one can have them. Anyway. Our NFT dice. No, they're not. I promise. Gotta have diamond hands to flip those big spender tables. True. The currency of the future isn't dollars or NFTs. It's the number of likes on your internet comments. True.
Oh my God. I hate that.
And the dislikes is just like in real life too. You just don't know what is sucking away your cash.
Yeah.
True. Unless you put it in an extension, and then you know.
Yeah. So dislikes are bills?
Yeah. They're taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's true, I'll always be in the negative with my bad takes. Well, there you go. I was working for a guy doing website stuff, and a company's GoDaddy's password when I started was QWER1234. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Internet security, that's a thing. I'm studying that. It's neat. Or cybersecurity, but whatever. My password is my real name, Biggest Dickus. There you go, Pizza Funk. That's the one.
Do you find it risible?
Good movie.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
There's a fucking Chungus miniature that you can 3D print on Etsy?
I did not, but now that you've made me aware, I hate life. Again.
Yep. Yeah, you can get a Chungus.
Nice. These are quality Kraken dice. Well, they don't know about us, and they don't care, probably. The last time I tried to reach out to something, they were like, "Hey, you're small," and I'm like,
"We don't like small."
Yeah. They're like, "Dude, maybe when you get more."
There is some guy who is wearing a TableTalk shirt and who has like a TableTalk like poster on the wall, who is watching this episode in Kraken headquarters, who
That's right.
got so excited when you said Kraken and you said that they didn't like us, and now they are crying, you monster.
Well,
see,
I hope that they reach out to me and say, "Hey,
we do like you."
And then I would go, "Well, we can start building the bridge, I guess, again."
Yeah.
That you burnt down.
There never was a bridge.
You'll do something? Sounds like you'll do nothing but flip a table. True, I will. Instead of my 5th amethyst dice, I'll NFT tabletop discussion and discourse dice. Oh, I'll get. Okay. Okay. For a second there, I was like, huh? That guy at Kraken headquarters is the janitor. That's true. All right. So, let us move on to the next video in our selection here. This one is from a channel that we've covered already. It's Bob World Builder, if you remember. Yeah. And Boo, you actually were talking about this video before, and I had it in our docket at some point, and it was short, so I was waiting for a time to actually start it and actually watch it, and this is the perfect time.
Yeah.
This is 3 house rules to customize your D&D weapons. This is...
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember exactly what the points were, but I liked them.
Yeah, so this is basically the thumbnail is like, oh, damage for all of these things is pretty similar, boring. And I was like, okay, that's fair enough, I guess. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's like 5.5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, no, I remember this.
Alrighty.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Well,
at least I find it to be pretty good. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you'll be fucking Debbie Downers and not like it.
Yeah, maybe I hate everything. Maybe that's my job here.
A D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, and rarely a D12. These dice are the defining feature for 35 out of 37 weapons in D&D 5e. The other two don't even use dice, and nobody uses them anyway. One simple way to add variation to your weapon...
I legitimately use the net. I legitimately use it.
Yeah, no.
My character, Nados, he's a old man turtle, bard, lore master bard, and he uses items. That's his thing. He doesn't he tries not to do his magic stuff unless absolutely necessary. So I have bottles that I can smash and grind and put into people's eyes and fucking
That's always so fucked.
Anyway. Yeah, I know, isn't it? The best part is Nados is kind of fucked. But he pretends to be a nice man to get into, good graces with people.
Oh, and then he fucking shoves broken glass in people's eyes.
He could, yeah, if he doesn't like them. Yeah.
What a bastard. Anyway.
And so I was like, my magic item that you're giving me, it's a bag of holding, so I can put all my stuff in it. And then I bring out my net when I need to, and I throw it on people if I have to. It's great.
Nice. Sounds like a good old rip roar.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Well, he's a guy.
Yeah.
Is to steal from 3rd edition, where similar weapons had different ranges and effects for critical hits. But I wouldn't call this sort of variety the spice of life. What I want, and what a few thousand of you want, is weapon customization. We don't want to have the same longsword from levels 1 to 3 when we find a +1 longsword, and then until level 6 or something when we find one that does a little fire damage. So I'm going to give you 3 better ways to customize weapons that are simple to add to your game. Because I'm Bob, and this is where we learn how to have more fun playing D&D together. This first method was actually inspired by this video's sponsor, Valda's Spire of Secrets.
Oh my God.
And if you're one of the other few thousand people who want more weapons and customization, you'll definitely want to check out this epic expansion
so
to D&D.
Anyway,
okay, yeah, it's a whole sponsor thing, huh?
There I was.
Alright. We'll get there. Anyway, go on.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, okay. Just gonna talk over the sponsor. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't sponsor us, so.
Weapons with the new Elegant property require a dexterity score of 16 or higher to wield, and Super Heavy does the same thing for strength-based weapons. Some examples of elegant weapons are the Edged Card, which is a lot like a dagger, light, finesse, thrown, but it does a D8 instead of a D4, and the Hook Sword, which is kind of like a short sword, light and finesse, but it has the trip property and uses a D10 instead of a D6. And one example of a super heavy weapon is that 20-pound Dwarven War Axe that does 2d8 damage. The point is, these are non-magical weapons, but they're awesome. They're more than just reskinning and reflavoring because they do more damage or have additional features, and giving them a prerequisite ability score gives your characters this upgrade to look forward to. In the meantime, they'll be more creative with the unlocked weapons they already have but wouldn't normally choose. So, my simple homebrew system for this style of customization is to use a similar approach to dual wielding. Anybody can dual wield, but they only add their strength or dex to the damage if they have the fighting style or feat that allows it. So for ability score requirements, anybody can still use any weapon they're proficient with, but they only add their strength or dex to the damage if they meet the ability score requirement. To make it easy to remember, you could match the requirement and the damage die. D4 weapon requires 14 ability score, D6, 16, etc. But that's a little high, so I'd probably shift it down to D4 to 10.
Okay. Yeah. I was about to say, because if I have a dagger and I need a 14 in my dex in order to actually get anything with it, man, that's crazy. But no, okay. If he's putting it down, that's fine. Yep, we're all using the net. We're using it right now. Thanks, August. Wow. That was a smooth sponsor plug. Yes, that was smooth. I'm good for him that he's sponsored. I would play it if it was like a personal sponsorship of his own product, but since it's not, sorry.
Yeah.
6 to 12, etc. But if that's not simple enough, this next method for customization definitely is. Just populate your game world with different versions of the same weapon that use different damage dice. Yeah, there's no legitimate reason that a dagger can't be a D6 or a D8 or higher. Maybe it's silvered or reinforced or of fine elven make. This method allows you to give mundane enemies a slight edge in battle, and it can surprise and excite your experienced players when an apparently mundane weapon is more powerful than it should be. Then later, when your PC finds that +1 dagger that does D4 damage, they'll probably keep their D8 dagger and switch between the two for different kinds of encounters.
Would they though? Well, +1s are magic, right?
Yeah,
magic damage?
I guess so. But at that point, why give them a +1 of that kind of dagger, if not give them +1 of their, dagger that they've gotten that's a D8,
Yeah.
Because like I'm just thinking of the logistics behind it in a way, because it's just like, why not?
Yeah, it is a little bit.
It's a little strange, but it's not like, it's just.
Yeah.
Because that sort of variety is useful. And my favorite new method for weapon customization also relies on the damage die, and it takes inspiration from D&D 5e's most elegant mechanic, advantage and disadvantage. In other words, it makes weapons a little more fun because you get to roll more dice. But it breaks down to tiers of quality for weapons. And for me, this comes right out of the video game RPGs of my childhood. You might start out with a tarnished or broken longsword that still uses a D6, but it actually does 2d6, take the lowest. Then, soon enough, your character can afford to have that weapon fixed, buy a new one, or just find a better one and upgrade to a standard or sturdy short sword that uses the basic 1d6, and later upgrade again to a silvered or reinforced or elven short sword.
I don't think that that's a bad method.
Yeah,
I may adopt that. Like, I would only have the concern that you're asking players to roll more dice, and you're adding in another level where things can you're adding in a potential another degree of failure. And as anyone who's DM'd before will tell you, players are fucking dumb. So I do think this is a very cool system. And I would 100%, like, if I were playing in a game and the DM told me, like, oh, yeah, we're going to be doing this, I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I do have, like I said, that one reservation. I also would have a reservation with, say, in his example, he mentions the blade is tarnished.
Sure.
Going to a blacksmith and they're like, oh, I have this tarnished blade for sale.
Well, I don't think that they're they're not presenting it. He's not presenting it that way. It's like, think of it like imagine, if you will, if there was a game series called like Elder Scrolls or some shit. And imagine, if you will, if the weird beginning would be like, man, you're a prisoner and you break out of jail or something. That'd be fucking weird. But the weapons that you find there would probably be of lower quality, because it's in a fucking dungeon or a sewer or
exactly
on the back of a cart, and it just happens to be there. Well, somebody won't shut the fuck up. And, you find these weapons more commonly in areas where, like, you go into, like, a goblin cave, and they have, like, shitty weapons.
Yeah.
And, obviously, in the beginning, you're fighting goblins more commonly, and so, that's kind of your lot for a moment. And then maybe you'll go to, like, a bandit camp, and then the leader has, like, a nice sword instead of the shitty ones,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also, like, I understand the point of this isn't to have them be for sale. The point of this is to have them be found, or they could be for sale or just thrown out because they aren't, like, taken, like, having the time taken with them. But, well, in that case, why would they take the time to upgrade them? So they wouldn't throw them out. They would just have them as a thing for those who really needed something. And then once you were able to actually give them the money, that they would take the time to actually reforge it and make it better and actually make it so that it's feasible and usable and all that stuff. And then they have for sale those, like, it's bog standard, this dagger does a d4, right? But whilst you have this dagger that could do more, that you could upgrade over time, and thus, like, have be your weapon that you have done all these adventures with. Your signature weapon.
I would also like it if, you just kept adding dice onto it, so you have tarnished, so you've got disadvantage on your damage. Then regular, you have just regular damage. Then you have super or whatever. And, you have advantage on your damage. And then after that, you just add more and more and more and more dice,
It would be very interesting to do of maybe a very good weapon has, like, +4 or higher quality. You have advantage on your damage.
Yeah.
But then maybe introduce one single magic item, and only one, just because it would by its nature slow down play, but you get double advantage on damage.
That can work.
One could call it the Sword of Luck and Pluck. Jojo.
Right. Weebs.
Yes.
I thought the sword was just called Luck and Pluck, not the Sword of Luck and Pluck.
I think it's the Sword of Luck and Pluck. I could be wrong. I
haven't seen season 1 at all.
God, you're not weeb enough.
Aggressively did not pay attention to season 1 because
I know.
Bad.
By the way, when the fuck is Stone Ocean coming?
Stone Ocean's on Netflix right now.
Oh, goddamn! Of course, it's on fucking Netflix.
So the only thing that I have with it is, like, I guess it's one of those things of, if I would implement it where if that's the case for those kinds of weapons, then other people could also have those kinds of weapons.
Yeah,
because then you would have a bunch of people rolling a bunch of dice. It feels like it would
Quick
it would really
side question. Schrodinger, never mind.
Okay. Anyway,
it feels like it would really fit in, like, a Pathfinder scheme, where you have high damage numbers, to such a degree to have, like, a big weapon like that. Whereas I would limit it to, like, instead of having it be too many dice of, like, I would get it to, like, 4 at most, 4 dice that you're rolling at most, just to make it so that it's still within the D&D kind of balance. For a weapon specifically, because you can add on your spells and your fucking enchantments and your fucking whatever else you want to it, absolutely, to give even more damage to get it past that. But for the base weapon, it's like the 2 for 1 is you take the lowest, then you have just the 1, and then you have the 2 that you take the highest, and then you have 2 that you add together. And then you have 3, maybe, and then you add the highest 2, and then you have 4 that you maybe just, or actually you go 3 that you add together, and then 4 add the 3 highest, maybe, or you just take all 4. I don't know, but it would have to be something like that.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
Oh, there we go. Finally.
Okay. Lots of things. Is that Duck Hunt on his screen? No, I think it's an alternate Duck Hunt game where it throws the clay discs. Maybe. Oh, alternate mode, I mean. Maybe. I don't know.
Either that or it's just a screensaver that looks like it.
Yeah. That isn't a bad idea, and I've used something like that. Some weapons do more damage than their normal kind because of the quality of itself. I've thrown D6 daggers to my party before. That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I played Champions of Norath to death when I was younger. First game I played on the net. And my first MMORPG. Nice. They have usually been specially crafted by someone special. Oh, those kinds of weapons? Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Players are dumb and brilliant at the same time. They're whatever they need to be to destroy your plans. Yes. No, I'm wrong about the Duck Hunt thing. Different background image. That really looks like something from the NES, though. This is destroying my life right now. Oh, it probably is. I don't know. Or it's just some pixel art that somebody made. I'm careful not to put in too many special weapons that have improved damage naturally, just because how bonus dice work in Pathfinder 2. That's fair.
Yeah.
They've been unique weapons, basically, so they can't have magic properties stack onto monstrous weapons. Fair enough, yeah. For Pathfinder, that makes sense to me. For, like, D&D, I don't know. It, like, stacking that shit on seems like par for the course later on. I don't know. Anyway, where's my mouse? There it is.
That does 2d6, take the highest. So just this small tweak of the mechanics gives each weapon a few different levels of detail. And then you can combine some of these methods. Get a strong short sword that does 1d10 or 2d8 take the highest, but you'll need a 16 strength or dex score to add that modifier to the damage.
Oh,
However, this combination of methods is where we go from simple way to customize weapons to an entirely new weapons system. So if you'd like to see a follow-up video where I try to make that work, give this one a thumbs up and leave your ideas down in the comments. Thanks again to Valda Spire of Secrets. Thank you to our sponsor, Describe, to all the wonderful Bob World Builder patrons, and you for your support here on YouTube. Keep building.
Cool.
Yep.
Quick.
I really
Nice.
like that. I like that.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Actually, yeah. Which wasn't there. Didn't we review some of his videos before?
We reviewed one video,
yes.
He did the what to buy thing that he didn't ever tell you anything. Yeah. It was really bad. But that video, pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. For 5e, I have a masterwork weapon that you can get advantage once per combat or round. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Wow, that was short. Yeah, today, I don't know if you looked at the title of the stream, but it's short video variety hours, because we're going to take hours anyway. Anyway, so, that was that one. Pretty good. Hopefully, when we cover more of his videos in the future, if we do, they remain at that quality. For now, I think it's time for the main event, the one you've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Oh, I need it. Ooh, mama, I need it.
I just finished painting all my teeth on my boys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, same. That's what. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Miniatures. Yes.
Right.
Just finished painting all the teeth, so I'll be able to pay full attention to this shittery.
There you go. So everyone, it's time for it's a short Garibay video, just to keep in theme. And this one is called Is It Ethical for a D&D 5e DM to accomplish goals in a campaign that the players are not aware of?
What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know. I'm very confused. So, we will see what he means.
Is it ethical?
Is it ethical? Is it ethical? And I'm interested to see how he describes it.
Because I don't really even know what that's going on.
I don't think ethics are really a part of playing the game in the sense of like
Okay, I was paying attention to something else on Discord, so had like kind of muted the call.
Yeah.
And I come back in with talk of ethics, and I go, "Oh boy, what is this gonna be about?" And then I read the title, and I pause, and my soul withers, and I read the title again, and I
Yep.
It's gonna be interesting.
Okay. Okay, hold on. I need a snack for this.
Okay. Yeah, you get your snack. I got some stuff to read in chat.
I've got some mangoes and pineapple and mango
Nice.
and dragon fruit juice.
Nice.
Mango and pineapple and mango and dragon fruit. Got it.
Mangoes and pineapples in a juice,
Oh,
which is
in. I see.
in a juice, which is mango and dragon fruit flavored juice.
Oh,
I see.
my.
So, are you guys gonna get any of those monkey NFTs?
Oh God, yeah, all of them.
No, I got a ton of them because
Right.
I right clicked them and then I hit save image as.
Exactly.
So I'm basically a trillionaire at this point.
Yeah.
My grammar's on point today. I spell better when I use the app instead of my TV. That's fair enough. Which Garabayment are we on today? The answer is yes.
Should
DMs.
I think whenever we talk about a Garabay video, we should call it "We're going into the Gara basement."
I kind of am into this. Yes. DM should have goals to have fun. Short video, long title. Yes. Garabay talking about ethics in the title. That's very awkward. Yes. As long as it doesn't ruin the game and experience. Yes. Garabay paragon of ethics. Very true. I'm sure he had someone else type the title. He couldn't have done it on his own for ethical reasons. Gotta bounce later. See you, Draco Kraken.
See ya.
I hope we'll find out what he means by that because I'm not even sure. Is he driving with dome light on or the overhead interior light? I don't think that's safe. That's true.
Yeah,
the
it's not.
Garabay verse. Oh God. Well, it's not a tenement, but it's definitely a sermon. So let us listen to our Lord.
Yeah. Oh boy. Wait, is Aiden here with this snack?
I am here.
All right. Okay.
I didn't know if you had left and then not come back.
I never. Dude, okay. Garabay is on the screen. I am not leaving my chair.
Okay, got it.
Gara basement has a nice ring to it. It does.
Yeah.
All right, let's plunge into the Gara basement.
Yeah.
Please. There's monsters in the dark.
This is Scott Garabay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and we're going to ask the question, is it ethical for a dungeon master to accomplish a goal with their Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign without informing the player character?
Why specifically 5th edition?
Yeah.
Because that's
and
all he talks about.
I love how he's like, we're going to talk about D&D 5e today because you talk about so many other things.
Well, he does, and the other things we don't want to touch.
He talks about Martha Stewart.
We don't. Well, no. I mean the other videos. We don't want to touch those. We don't want to get those.
Of the goal the dungeon master is attempting to accomplish. All right, that's my question. Please consider. Please give me your answer in the comments below if you have a free moment. I'd love to hear your.
I don't have an answer, but I do have a question. What goals does the Dungeon Master have to accomplish?
Well, I was gonna say I was hoping that he was just gonna stop the video and then the rest would be a black screen. That. It would have been so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I assume to have fun.
I need some sort of example.
Right. Yeah. I don't
know
understand
what the hell he's on about so far.
Right. My only thing is like, oh yeah, we have fun as a DM with our friends.
Yeah.
Yes. Or we have set this goal of we're going to kill a bad guy, you know, like you know, it's just like whatever we do together.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this? Let me explain my exact situation. So,
okay, please.
I am currently studying deeply Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And
okay.
I'm just giving myself a as strong and sound an understanding of Waterdeep as possible.
Okay.
And basically what I'm going to do is my intention is to use Waterdeep as a Waterdeep Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, using Waterdeep Dragon Heist to use the political structure of Waterdeep to model the United States of America.
Why?
And specifically skin Andrew Yang as a faction leader that is attempting, and specifically I'm putting it in as an ASMR paladin sage named Yeznar, okay? And his goal is going to be to peacefully remove L'Ariel Silverhand and place himself in as the Open Lord of Waterdeep.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to do this is I believe if I structure it correctly, what I can do is I can use Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign as a predictive engine to determine what unexpected obstacles Andrew Yang can expect to hit in the 18 months running up to between 18 months as he attempts to become the U.S. presidential.
Whoa. You're gonna make an algorithm out of D&D for a presidential candidate?
Use more people for predictive algorithm of politics.
What? What?
Oh my god! It's stranger than fiction. It is stranger than... Dude, was this published on April 1st? He's gotta be fucking with us.
No, I doubt it.
I don't think so, no. It's December 3rd, last year.
Oh.
Okay.
This is a fresh new flavor of fucked. I'm about it.
Okay.
So
I have in my 25 years of life,
Yeah.
a quarter of a century alive
Yeah.
on this spinning mud rock that we call our home.
Right.
I have seen a lot of fucked shit. I have created a lot of fucked shit and been a party to fucked shit.
Right.
Yes.
But I have never, of all the various flavors of fucked I've seen, I have never in my life experienced this. And I wish I could explain to you how unironically about it I am.
It's a new experience.
I crave only more.
See, and here's the thing for me.
Yeah.
When I came up with Devils and Dice,
Yeah.
I thought I was being rather creative.
Yeah.
You know, with the players playing as devils in hell. And, you know, hell being anime, less so. And basing it off of my favorite anime, less so.
Is Boris Trump?
Yes.
No, honestly, if anybody is Trump, it's probably Tharnanar. But, But yeah, I thought I was being creative. Clearly, like baby mode.
You don't know the bounds.
I truly don't. Like, God, I want to take this seriously, but I know there's no fucking point.
There's no point. No.
There's no
That's why
fucking
I'm
point.
gonna laugh.
Yeah.
It's definitely ethical in 3.5, but probably not in 2E. Why do I feel like he's sitting in a parking lot doing recon for an episode of Cheaters?
Okay, you know
That's
what?
still a thing?
Probably.
I can 2 minutes and 3 seconds into his video, I can already answer his question.
Yeah.
It's ethical to do in 1E. Or sorry, it's ethical to do in both basic and advanced.
Sure.
It's we won't even talk about 2E.
Sure.
It is ethical to do in 3 and 3.5, unethical in 4,
Right.
ethical in 5e. Don't you worry, Scott. I got you, homie. It is unethical to do in Pathfinder 1, and ethical only if you look at it from a certain point of view in 2e.
So, okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, right, exactly. Done. Video over.
Yeah.
So, okay. I just need to
have to ask why, that proves you would never get it.
Right. I just Okay. So he's trying to use his table of people that he knows and these characters that they've created for this adventure to predict the stumbling blocks that a U.S. presidential candidate is going to have.
When does the sex scandal play in?
Yeah. And like, who's gonna be the wine? What's his name? No,
Fuck. The guy Epstein.
Epstein.
Yeah,
I was thinking Weinstein.
No.
Yeah, wait, who's gonna be the Epstein?
Yeah, right.
Who is gonna be Justin Trudeau doing brown face?
There it is.
Why is your table of ostensibly 4 or 5 people? I will admit I do not know the amount of people, nor do I want to.
No, yeah.
I consider that information, in fact, less than useless.
Yeah.
But why are the sampling of 4 or 5 people at your table a indicative sampling of the general populace of the United States?
Exactly.
Ostensibly, the populace of your table are all nerds, for lack of a better word. So why are nerds? I'm actually delving into the science behind this, and I know that's dangerous, and I can feel myself getting sucked beyond the event horizon of getting stupidity.
He's falling.
Yep.
I feel myself falling, and it scares me, but it also thrills me.
Down into the Gara basement, yes.
Down into the Gara basement, the void of which there is no return.
Yeah. There's no stairs.
It is just a trapdoor.
Like, good God in heaven, like, there is an event horizon, and I'm kissing it right now.
Right.
But why are the people at your table representative of the whole of America?
They're not.
Do you think
the simple answer.
Do you think the whole of America are nerds because D&D is a way of life?
Dude, he
of course
would.
You know his answer is going to be yes.
Of course, yeah.
Why even ask?
Because I'm giving him a chance to speak. I'm giving him a chance to speak his own stupidity from his mouth.
Right.
Okay, you know what? Fair.
Fair enough.
Anyway, let's continue. Oh wait, no. You said
I wanted to read a few more things.
Yeah.
I'm really curious how he even got this question. How does he think of these scenarios while driving? Well, he parked, so this is important. The first thing Lux says is what?
Yeah.
Just in.
What?
From Lux, a single word.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, true.
Lux, you have a homework assignment. You must delve deeply into Scott Garibay.
Don't make him do that, man. Don't send somebody else down to the basement.
No, we drudge this shit up for other people to see. We don't need them to go in too.
You're right.
We don't need them to go in.
We suffer for the amusement of the audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a huge fan of Andrew. Check out his early vids on your free time. Oh God, I won't.
Yes, I will.
That makes sense though. That's why he's saying it.
Yeah.
Is he trying to use D&D 5e to tell the future? Yes. Garibay clearly knows something about the future, and President Andrew Yang, where he must use the magic of D&D 5th edition to protect/destroy him, or help /stop him from becoming president.
What, dude? All along, Republicans are requesting vote recounts when all they needed to do was have Scott Garibay play D&D and discern it for them.
Exactly.
You know how the ancient druids used to take a peller would take a bird and kill it with a knife, and the way its guts landed on the ground.
Oh yeah, Haruspex or Haruspex, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Eatmaster 57 million.
Yeah. Literally, that is Scott Garibay with the American political system.
Via D&D.
With D&D, yeah. Is there a difference in intelligence between driving Garibay and parked Garibay? Oh yeah, parked Garibay thinks more.
Yeah.
He's coming up with algorithms, my dude.
Dude, don't you see the light above his head?
That's the light bulb.
This is the smart one.
It's true. I know what happens to investigators, says Lux.
Yeah, me too.
Fair. All right, here we go. Oh.
Presidential candidate. I don't think it's ever been done before.
No shit.
For
I
good
got a
reason.
degree in political science.
You know what? I will go. I will go so far as to speak officially. I will confirm it has indeed never been done before.
True.
Yeah.
I understand Park Garibay is a based god. That's true.
And I also have a master's in technology, specifically technology management. So I'll be using some specifically some Excel pivot tables and kind of things like that as well.
Oh, good.
Overall, there's going to be a lot of social modeling and political structure modeling to use Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition as a predictive engine to aid a specific U.S. presidential candidate. And my goal is
To aid.
Well, yeah, I want to hear his goal.
Yeah, me too.
I was fortunate enough to be able to walk right up to Andrew Yang when he ran in 2020, shake his hand, and have plenty of time with him. And he's going to come again in 2024 to Philadelphia, and guarantee you that. And I want to be ready and tell him, hey, these are the obstacles I think you're going to face as a political candidate that you might not be expecting. And these are my specific advice on how to overcome those, right?
Man, he should be a fucking campaign manager.
Well, so he said he did say he has a degree in political science, apparently,
and he can use Excel.
And he can use Excel.
He can use Excel. He can.
So can I. Whoa!
I have, shockingly, I have only a degree in chemistry.
Right.
So, the brain chemistry, describing people making these decisions in these drama, just saying.
Yeah.
But I have never in my life seen a man who the shape of his soul more closely resembles that of Frank Reynolds.
Who? I don't know who that is.
From It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh,
yeah.
I have the feeling that we are only a second away from Scott Garibay offering Andrew Yang an egg in these trying times. And I love it. Bit over. I actually love it.
I didn't think it was a bit. I know you love it.
Masters in technology, then you can't be a dungeon master. You're not devoted enough.
Yeah. Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, man.
That's true. Like,
no, remember.
It's a dungeon, man. It's got to be dark and damp and cold.
Well, no, remember. He's been a dungeon master since he was 12. He's had the time already. He's there.
That's true. He already has a dungeon PhD.
Yes. I'm sure Andrew Yang had security on standby after that confrontation.
What the fuck? Hey, Andrew Yang, these are all the things that I think you should look out for. Oh, this is interesting. How'd you find this out? By playing D&D.
Yes. So the thing is,
with 4 people,
I have to wonder when he says,
"Oh fuck,"
it's guaranteed that Andrew Yang will come to Philadelphia.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe like in an actual sense, maybe he always stops into Philadelphia. I don't fucking know because I literally didn't even know the name Andrew Yang before. Literally tonight. So maybe he goes to Philadelphia often. I don't know. But do you if he doesn't, do you think
that he's gonna go find him?
Scott Garibay predicted this what was by doing American politics horror specs?
Yeah.
I can never hear the word horror specs and not think Tyranids. I'm ruined.
That's fair enough. Oh god. D&D to improve your campaign advantage. Color me impressed.
This is a whole new level of fuckity.
That's the thing. He wants to use D&D 5e to predict the American political system.
Right.
But like which I'm just going to I'm not going to criticize, I'm not going to give thoughts. I'm just going to take that as a given.
Sure.
Why 5e? Like,
specifically, I have no idea.
Do advantage and disadvantage play into it or something? Yeah. Is the fact that a longsword is a versatile weapon? Is that does a lich having a CR of 21 matter?
Probably.
It's you don't understand. They're all allegories. You fuck.
See, now, actually, now that you're mentioning that, this is really reminding me of that video from the Internet Historian going camping at the end of the world.
Yeah.
Remember that? Where they describe how Harold Camping came up with his date for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
That is really giving me this kind of that kind of energy.
Absolutely. Be ready for the second coming of Andrew Yang. Of course, we have to be now.
Yeah. He does describe Andrew Yang in a very Jesus-like regard.
He does. Andrew Yang was...
Hey, you know what? More power to him, I guess. I don't...
Sure.
Okay. Sure, go for it.
Andrew Yang has security to protect him from the nerds wheezing to him with Waterdeep Dragon Heist in hand.
I don't think he has to do that. I think he just has to get off of a highway. Because Scott Garibay cannot
leave his car.
Physically unable to leave his car.
Now, but apparently in the past, he has left his car and made a video. We will cover at some point because I need to see.
Well, see, here's the thing. The point still stands because
of course,
was in the past.
Now, yes.
And that was evil Garibay.
Right, unenlightened.
Punished Garibay.
Yeah, and now he's
Garibay.
already had his redemption arc.
Right, you're right.
Yes. Dude, I don't get why Scott Garibay goes on about hosting your D&D party in a better place, a place of your own. When he insists on hosting us, his audience, in his car.
In his car, yes.
Yeah.
It kind of makes
you do own your car. I mean, come on.
It kind of makes me feel insulted. Like, am I not worthy of your house? Am I not good enough
for your home? Yeah. He'll get sprayed with Axe deodorant spray.
Don't worry, he likes that.
Oh, that's mean. When is Garibay the movie coming out? Oh God, I hope soon. Be gone, station wagon dad.
I will buy out a whole movie theater.
Yeah. Chris Pratt will play Garibay. There it is. Punish Garibay. It's just him acting like he's one of us. True.
Yeah.
True. All right. There's 4 more minutes. Here we go.
When he thinks we're recording an action movie, but it's really a found footage.
So I currently have an amazing team of players. We have everybody in my Sunday game is a DM and a player, right?
Okay.
And so basically you get 4 weeks and you can run anything you want, right?
Okay.
And so you get a 2-hour slot for 4 weeks. You can run anything you want. We meet on Sundays. DM A gets to run their game for 2 hours, and then DM B gets to run their game for 2 more hours. It's 4 hours of gaming with 2-hour sessions, right?
Sure. Okay.
And then the next month, it switches to the other 2 DM players, and then they run their campaigns, right? So
C&D.
So you have a month on and a month off as DM. So I have plenty of opportunities to run this once, twice, or more, right? I may actually model it out in Exandria at a later time, right? And so, but I actually think the predictive model, the predictive engine, predictive engine will work better if the players are unaware of my goal, right? However,
that is true.
I love my players; they're great people. So I want to ask first. I want to get some advice.
So I have 2 problems with this.
Yeah. Just 2?
Well, as soon as the sentence escaped my lips, and I'm like, that's not true.
That's not true. Why did you lie to my face?
But we shall reduce it to I have two problems.
Right.
Okay.
The first of which is what you are trying to do, Scott, and I call you Scott because you are my friend in this example.
Only in this example. A fleeting moment.
Is you are trying to pull off what's known as a single blind experiment. It is an experiment in which you are not blind to what is being performed and why, but your test takers are. The people who are participating are blind to what is happening. Now, a lot of research has, mercifully for you, already been done as to indeed the ethics behind single blind experiments. In fact, many psychological tests, which is relevant to you, and I mention again because you are trying to do a psychological test.
True.
A lot of psychological tests that were run in like the 1940s, 50s, 60s in America were actually horrendously unethical, but they were very useful in terms of helping gain an insight into people's mind. There is a wonderful video I would highly recommend. It's about, I forget the name of the researcher, but he did he did a single blind experiment wherein a person was asked to shock another person with what they believed were increasing voltages.
Right.
Now, the person who quote unquote was getting shocked was actually an actor.
Yeah, that's right.
And was not getting shocked at all. But the person who was administering the shocks believed they were actually harming, and after the person stopped responding in pain, they believed they might have killed the other person.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Now, afterward, they made sure that the person who was administering the shocks saw the person they were administering the shocks to, so they did not think that they had killed someone.
Yes.
And they were also told, no matter what happens, I, as the person who is administering this experiment, assume blame.
Yep.
But it has these. They found I think it was like 75% of people were willing to keep upping the voltage because people have an inherent need to follow authority.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
it was administered as evidence in the Nuremberg trials, which are when people who held concentration camps were thrown on trial for war crimes. And this was evidence showing people, no matter if they believe they're killing people or not, will do what you tell them to do if they perceive you as being in authority over them.
Yep.
Truly actually fascinating.
Yes.
But you are describing a single blind experiment in which a lot of research has already been done. Secondly, you, by publishing this video and asking people, is it ethical to do this? You have fouled your own test. Because, hypothetically, even though you think, oh, my players would never watch my videos, there's a potentiality that they may have.
True.
And you
so
may
all your
have
test results are
you may have now fouled your own water.
Yes.
As such, please take. I'm going to request you take this video down.
It's been like over a year.
Not because of the reason that it is insipid bullshit, but simply because you're fouling your own test results.
It's been nearly 2 months, actually.
Oh, 2 months. Oh, okay. I thought it was a year. My bad.
No.
Yeah. So kindly remove this. just because I want to see you pull this experiment off, because if you do, I would be fascinated.
Yeah.
But just so you know, a lot of research has already been done, and I'm going to request you to do something which may seem unfamiliar with you. It's known as Googling your questions. Instead of recording and having words dribble out of your insipid little mouth, sitting in your SUV and asking a bunch of people who don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's true.
Do a little bit of research and look things up. Read perchance a paper or 30. And
30.
you might actually find out for yourself.
He doesn't have that kind of time. He's driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's driving.
He's got to drive.
He's got places to be.
Yeah,
clearly.
he's always got places to be, especially at night.
Yeah.
Let's see. You think Garibay made some warlock pact with his car for the knowledge he reveals to us today? Yes.
I got a shitty fucking patron.
boy, doing a negative 1d10 cantrip.
I'm actually super impressed that he lets someone else DM. Do they also have homes with many rooms to navigate to? What about snacks and writing utensils? Did you force the DM title on them?
What if and I know this is going to be a stretch, but stay with me. What if you show up to one of Scott Garabay's games and there is a big table.
Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Can we go on?
Yeah, swallow it down. There's a big table.
Right.
There are many snacks set up on the table. But Scott Garibay has set up around the room sound recording equipment. And you say, hey, Scott, and you refer to him as Scott because he is your friend.
Right.
What's this what's all this equipment for? And he goes, nah, I can't tell you.
I would probably walk out the goddamn door.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Yeah, very reasonable, honestly. I feel like he's just recording it on his laptop as he's doing this stuff. Like he's just shorthanding this shit into Excel. I feel like that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And fair enough. Go for it, man.
Before you take part in one of his campaigns, he needs headshots of you in a side profile.
Fucking Squid Game style. The table itself lights up with all the faces.
It's Garibay Games. Oh no.
Jesus.
You just sold away your rights for $500,000.
Oh hell yeah! There you go. Cursing them to a horrible fate, or did they ask for it? I just want to make sure you did curse them to a horrible fate. That's fair.
Squid Games, but it's Garibay. You need to make it through without killing yourself.
Right. Every time he refers to his players as a team, I can't help but think of some failed sitcom pilot for an action series where a bunch of D&D nerds playing D&D to predict future disasters to stop them.
Every time he mentions his table as being a team, I think of all those bosses who are obsessed with the word synergy.
Oh God. I think there's I think there's
a team we got here.
I think there's a disconnect actually.
Yeah.
Oh, just one.
Yeah, just one.
Is it ethical to have others become a dungeon master for you when they might be incapable of such a grandiose title and
Grandeur.
awesome responsibility?
Who the hell knows?
Yeah. No. Snacks on the table at Garibay's house. Is this a Garibay experiment or a living game of Mousetrap he's recording? In a scenario where I've gone to Garibay's house to play D&D, I would run out the door as soon as I regain control of my body.
Is it ethical to serve Chips Ahoy or Oreo?
That's the real question.
Yeah.
I'm sure the door is trapped to keep people inside. All right. Here we go.
You open the front door and it just opens up a door into the room. There's no way
Jesus.
out.
Yeah, it is a super liminal space.
Yep.
Is it ethical? Is it ethical for a dungeon master
I don't know, man.
to accomplish what they believe to be a benign and or beneficial goal using the charisma, the intelligence, and the confidence of their players as a catalyst, right? To identify
A catalyst or a
for a whole bunch of
tool?
reasons, right? Like when
A
you sit
tool.
players
It's a
down
tool.
at the Dungeons and
Specifically
Dragons
a
table,
tool.
you have
Yeah.
an incredible force of charisma, confidence, and intelligence.
Do I?
That you can use to accomplish things. Many dungeon masters think that their games are, they're just there to have fun, and that's all they're ever going to accomplish, right? But I'm very convinced that Dungeons and Dragons is a powerful force.
He talks about being a DM like it's a superpower.
We've gone over
Well, I
this.
mean, he thinks that.
Yeah, remember the tenements, dude?
Yeah.
The fucking the commandments of our Lord.
Yeah.
He
actually does
you
think
are
that.
Remember,
Bless.
when you're a DM, you are transhuman.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget.
You're bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Exactly.
Bless me, Father, for I have fudged.
I shall rub ashes on my forehead. The ashes of my favorite D20.
Exactly. I think Garibay believes he's a Jedi Master trying to influence people at the table. Yeah, something like that.
May the ashes of min-maxers be their fucking dead.
He looks like he thinks he's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's true. Sad.
Christ.
And it's a powerful tool that can be used to accomplish a whole bunch of things. This
is the thing. I think D&D can be used as a tool for many things. Absolutely. That's fair enough. Sure. Like, it can be used to bring people together. It can be used to help people get through things. It can be used as a building block for community outreach, like what they do with fucking the charity that we help support with fucking the Humble Bundle. But like, it's not gonna. I don't think personally. And I am willing to be proven wrong, but I don't think personally that this is going to help the presidential candidate in such a way that you think it will. I really don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey.
Or Boo, either one of you have been DMs before.
Yeah.
I have ran out of snacks. I need you to use your charisma and your wisdom and your brain power to create new snacks for me.
Okay. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
I am ready.
All right. So envision in your mind, if you will.
Oh, we're going. Okay.
In front of you.
My eyes are closed. My fingers are on my forehead.
Envision in your mind in front of you in that beautiful new mug that I've given you.
Okay. Do I need to touch the mug? Maybe lick it so I get a feel for the mug.
If you really need that connection, I will allow it.
Thank you, very gracious of you. Hold on.
Of course. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now imagine the scent coming from it that I'm about to describe to you. You can smell the fruity scent of blueberries and strawberries swirling together. You smell the
I smell it.
The sweet aroma and you can kind of hear the slight bubbling of this absolutely delicious milkshake that's in front of you inside of
Why is it
mug.
bubbling?
Why is it carbonated?
So the bubbles aren't like, it's not bubbling. It's like those little bubbles that occasionally appear on top of just water or drinks and things of that nature. Yes. It's not carbonated. Don't worry. No. It is a delicious
I am editing the milkshake in my mind to be non-carbonated.
Yes. And in front of you, in this lovely mug is this delicious strawberry and blueberry milkshake. It even has a straw coming out of it. for your
well,
convenience.
Does the straw have the red and white stripes?
Yes,
that,
it
like,
is
spiral up and
absolutely.
down?
You don't understand. I've put that in your mind. You already knew.
See, now
I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs.
See, okay, here's the thing though.
Yeah.
That's all well and good.
Right.
But that's not a snack.
Shit.
That's a milkshake. Yeah,
That's a drink.
A milkshake goes with the snack, Alejo. Why have you robbed me?
Oh, shit.
I have opened my eyes and looked down and realized my tankard is empty.
I gotta go.
Lied to me this day, Alejo.
I gotta get out of here. I got places to be. I gotta get in my car real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta.
And come to think of it, the mug did not taste of strawberry and blueberry. It tasted of wood and metal.
Well, let me just drive around the block a couple times. Then I'll recharge.
I'm
Get
gonna
right back to you.
recharge your mind palace.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 fucking minutes left. Let's do
I
this.
know.
We'll stretch it out for a half an hour.
I
we
know.
could.
We could.
Okay. Jedis are evil. Yes. D&D is not going to chart the course of America's future like Garibay is trying to do. And if he is with this current climate, why did you do nothing to stop it? Just run some water and turn it into snacks. Could have. The mug is about to be ruined forever. Well, you know.
Hold tight with me while I just Jesus myself up some snacks.
Exactly.
Scott Garibay told me how.
Exactly.
An innumerable number of things, right? But I need to check in first. Am I being ethical if I proceed?
Don't force me to be your sounding board, Scott.
Yeah.
And do this without telling the players, right? Because if it's not ethical, then I'll have to tell them, right? Because as dungeon masters, Gary called us to ethics.
Gary?
Wait, did he?
Wait, yeah, no. He said the exact thing that I was going to say. Wait, did he?
He personally charged you. He appeared to you in a dream. And he chose you to be the new messiah for the new generation of D&D.
Gary Gygax is dead. Shut the fuck up about Gary Gygax, please.
He calls him Gary because Gary is his friend.
That's true.
Yes. What do you think the alignments were for, right? Like, he told us. You cannot be, you can be lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good. You could be lawful neutral, true neutral, and chaotic neutral. But you cannot be in this life. Gary told us you cannot be in this life chaotic evil, neutral evil, or lawful evil.
I can't actually. Are you fucking kidding me?
What the fuck?
I wish almost that I had a face cam so I could show you how broad the smile on my face is.
I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it now too.
Hear it. My
God,
mouth.
I love it.
My mouth opened slightly and kept widening. I could not. I cannot. I don't. What? I will turn into a fucking white girl right now. I can't even. All right.
But can you odd?
That's the question. I don't. I
think Scott has quite mastered odding.
Wow. I have no words.
Actually, hey, you know what, Scott? I'm gonna turn your own logic back on you, and I will answer your question.
Very good.
Gary Gygax, and I call him Gary because he's my friend.
Of course.
He charged us to be paladins of the moral code, and he said that we can be neutral good or lawful good, a chaotic good, or true neutral or lawful neutral or chaotic neutral, but you cannot be lawful evil, chaotic evil, or neutral evil.
Yeah.
But I would argue, if you're alive and you cannot be chaotic evil or any of the evils in this life, and you are still in this life, were you ever evil?
Oh,
mind blown.
God damn it. I hate this video.
August says, why did you say that as a question? Did Gary Gygax send you a vision and tell you to become the man you are today at 12 years old?
I don't know, man.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck is with this guy anymore.
I don't know.
I legit, and I know I've mentioned it multiple times, but
Yeah.
I saw the whole docu series on Chris Chan's descent into madness.
Yeah.
And Chris, she mentioned multiple times that she had like dreams of herself having a son.
Right.
And that she wanted to name the son, I think it was Crystal.
Sure.
And it certainly wasn't a self-insert, because when has Chris ever inserted herself into something? Oh my goodness. But literally the definite fucking nation of Mary Sue. Anyway, legit, these delusions, not only of grandeur, but also the belief that, like, she has been contacted by Peter Griffin himself.
Oh boy.
Legit, same energy.
Yeah.
And I find that fascinating.
Yeah. Mong says, yeah, you can be evil. It just means you normally ain't having a good life. Or a safe one.
Yeah.
This statement feels like it came from present-day Wizards of the Coast, but it's Garibay. I wouldn't put that on them.
Oh my god.
I would not. Yeah.
No, they are not.
Please,
he didn't say you couldn't be
Please,
evil,
Wizards,
curious.
never print anything he says, because it already hurts my soul to hear RPG pundits say he was consulted. I cannot handle Scott Garibay saying he was consulted.
Right.
Yeah, right. Jesus.
You can be a Disney executive.
I am physically allergic to the idea of him being consulted.
For anything.
I know Greydon has mentioned it before, but it really does seem like a cult Garibay just invented. Yeah, yeah,
so
every day
weird.
It grows. Disney evil is a whole new category.
You're listening to the newest member.
Yeah, right? Jesus.
Alright, there's a minute. Oh my god,
Heroes don't do that, right? So I heard him. Did you hear him? All right, like, so.
No, I never heard him.
I want to
do
do
it
not
in
enlightened.
the right way, and I want to make this work, right? So, what do you think? I think it would definitely benefit me to not tell the players, right? But I'm curious. What do you think? Do you think that's unethical? Because if the majority of the people say, "Hey, Scott, I think this is unethical," then I'm definitely going to listen, and I don't think I will proceed, and I'll tell my players first, which I think will make the model run a little less efficiently.
Well, then, if you're gonna fucking if it's unethical,
how much less efficiently, Scott? You need to provide with numbers. That being said, here is my legitimate opinion. Yes, it would behoove you to not tell your players, because you will get more sound data. But yes, you are potentially doing something unethical were you to do so, because you are forcing people to perform beyond a scope that they should normally be expected to humanly perform. So yes, it is unethical to even begin to ask that of your players, whether they know so or not. But it is also true that you would get more sound data from performing this without your players' knowledge or consent. That being said, though, what would give you the most sound data are repeated experiments.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Well, he
too
did say that
entirely sure how off, like, sure, you will do it 2 DMs at a time and run it 2 months concurrently. Yay, cool, that's a sample size of 2. Don't literally even talk to me if your sample size is less than 30.
Right, he did say he might run it many times. That was a quote.
Do you believe there's really that many people that are willing to play D&D with Garibay?
I don't believe there's that many people that are in his table. I don't believe he has a rotating cast or anything. God, no. I think it'll be the same thing over and over for these people, just with different characters. And he's going to count... No. He's going to count the different characters that these people are taking into these sessions as different people. I feel like that's where he's going to go with it, if this is a thing. And
so continue.
That's it. I feel like that's where his mind would go.
You know the SpongeBob. So Scott talks about his team and his table.
Yeah.
But do you know the SpongeBob thing of like chip, penny, and used napkin?
Yes.
I just imagine Garibay sitting cross-legged in an empty room, going, "That's you, tire iron, and that's you, hubcap, and thank you, flat tire."
Yeah.
Legitimately, I think that's actually what happens.
All right, let's just.
I definitely wanted to check in here because I have a bunch of charismatic, intelligent, confident people.
Charismatic.
I'm fortunate enough to have that are kind enough to comment in my comments.
You got 3 comments.
Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, you got 3.
Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.
Millennium, dude. It's fair enough because
boy.
this was at
What
the end of
happens
December.
after what happens after the millennium's over?
Wait, millennium? Wait, I'm confused. Anyway.
What? Do I need to be part of your table to get like maybe 2 millennia?
So what happens if the players say no? What then? Good question. Have Corpse gotten into massive trouble with this same premise of using customers as test data before? I don't know.
I don't know. I literally learned about it in one psych class, which if he has a master's in technology, then surely he is elucidated
political science
enough.
as well. Yeah. Forget.
Yeah, if you should already know the specs for how to perform an experiment if you have a background in political science.
So this is completely unethical. Yes.
It sounds to me like he wants to use his background in political science. He wants to ignore his background in political science by saying, "No, I asked the internet what to do and they say yes." Like, that's unethical, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You say no in conversation with him, but 10 minutes later you're actually doing the thing he asked without knowing why. Yeah.
You could say no to him and he would gaslight you into believing you always said yes.
Exactly. He literally mocks us the next thing. Yeah, I feel he would still do it anyways, just doing it in a subtle way. Yeah. I don't know. That's fucking weird, dude. That's just... God. Anyway, let's move on to comments, huh?
Yeah.
I'm curious what the comment section says. I think there was one person who was like, I don't see an ethical problem with this. Another person saying, I feel like there's 3 of them. I
must know what are the results. Polls are in. So 1, it's perfectly ethical.
1 says,
2,
I don't see an ethical problem with this. If you were using your players as test subjects to test them, then it would probably be a question. Be a question? Yeah, okay. Pseudo Yang is the test subject and your players are your research assistants, not the lab rats themselves. This may be 100% ethical, and at the same time still annoy your players at the concept of being part of it. whether Waterdeep can be accurate enough to model to reflect the 2024 election in any meaningful way is another matter. Fair. Feel like the only way to the predictive engine will produce unbiased results is if you leave out the details of the real world inspiration. Yada 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 yada.
Yeah, so you need to have them be unaware of it.
The other one says, you know what, Scott? I think it's okay to encourage people to consider a kinder worldview, however that manifests for you. I really admire your ambition combining what is meaningful for you, although some of it is outside of my experience. Many people have lost sight of the magic that's really possible in this world. That's just a lot of nothing.
Yeah, that's just like fucking word salad.
Very cool.
Yeah, no, I kept waiting for a point to be made.
Yeah, very cool. All right. So that's...
right.
There are 7 comments, but only 3 of them are shown. Neat.
Cool.
I don't know.
I'm over it.
Yeah. Because he commented on them. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. Anyway. So, my credentials for joining this ethics board, I can use the internet. Exactly.
Well, that already places you above Scott.
Yep. Exactly. Let's move on to comments that we got over the course of the week. And that is starting...
It gives me life.
That is starting with Kill Chrono at episode 87, back in the first demandment of Garibay, the first reading, hosting. Yeah. I go away for a few months and come back to find this has become a Garibay stan channel. God damn it, guys. But seriously, we already knew he was a nutcase, and this rabbit hole clearly has no finite depth. It's funny because the first half of it struck me like he was applying a super cringy version of alpha male manosphere bullshit to his mentality about tabletop games. But then, the moment he started the whole only women play Sisters of Battle shtick, I was like, okay, I'm seriously questioning if this guy actually has friends to play D&D with, let alone if he's ever seen a naked pair of breasts in real life. Woof! Dude clearly has issues, but I'm on the spectrum myself, so I only have so much sympathy for someone who's unironically the tabletop equivalent of the you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty guy.
Oh, Jesus.
And Jesus Christ, I just looked up his channel. Looked his channel up out of morbid curiosity. He's posted 3 videos in the past 24 hours, and one of them is titled Strixhaven divides D&D 5e Dungeon Masters into alpha groups and beta groups, in my honest opinion. Holy shit, you cannot make this up.
It only would have been better if he said divides them into alpha groups and sigma groups.
True. That would have made it even better. Okay. I gotta delete a bot real quick. Don't mind me. Fucking bots.
Fucking robots.
So,
know your place. Trash.
Yeah. Anyway, Lux says in last week's.
Oh my god, is he on Twitter?
What?
Who, Filter Frank?
Yes, Garibay is on Twitter.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
To answer that clarifying question about backstories, no. Deciding that your character already has an opinion of an NPC that was just introduced in a campaign would be too big and would have too much of an impact on the campaign. The thing I was describing should only involve the details that affect your own character, and which you can probably change your mind about without anyone ever needing to know. If it's something you would have to objectively explain to the DM, then it's something you should have probably talked to the DM about at the beginning. So there you go, Aiden. That clarification is there for you. Send him questions on Twitter.
On. No, I was reading the fucking Andrew Yang fan fiction in a Twitter post. What now?
God.
I'll copy and paste it for you. I'm just gonna
there
it.
We go.
So yes, he does have a Twitter. Yeah, it's oh, that brought me to that. Stop. Okay, there we go. At the most, if you think it would just be a fantastic idea for your character to have a pre-existing hatred of the Baron after he's been introduced, you should talk to the DM privately about that idea. And it ultimately still has to be their decision as to whether or not they allow that to be a thing, because a DMPC is the DM's character, not the player, or an NPC, excuse me, is the DM's character, not the player's. You should never make a decision by yourself about another player's character. On forums, we call that god moding, and it is probably the worst thing in roleplay that you can ever do. In ancient Rome, if someone were found guilty of god moding, the Romans would cut off their hands. Nice. Also,
all back.
Yes. Also on the subject of self-inserts, of course, there's an exception to every rule, and some people are going to keep playing self-inserts forever. But what I think would probably hold true is that a person's likelihood of wanting to play a self-insert will decrease as they gain experience. At first, a self-insert might be the only idea a person has, but as they get better and see more of other people doing it, they'll start to come up with other character concepts, and even if they don't, they might at least get better at role-playing so that their self-insert evolves from a vehicle for coolness into a more well-rounded and multifaceted character, even though it continues to be based on themselves. Though, of course, the character could always function as an ego trip for the player. But even then, the character will still have to be subjugated to as many dangers and challenges as every other character encounters, and they'll still be subject to all the limitations the rules create for them. So at least the world itself doesn't have to bend over backwards for that character's sake. That might work out to be a positive influence on the player with any luck. If not, that's unfortunate. There you go.
So, two things. The first of which, I have posted a spicy meme for you all. I've already put it in the TableTalk memes channel. Secondly, I have read the comment about the backstories. And yes, that is literally perfectly fine. I just wanted to get confirmation from you. And I also have somewhat relevant to this stuff because legitimately this past Sunday during our D&D session, my character's hometown got a name just because it's never been important before now, but there is a side quest that is happening there right now with a dirty bomb.
Okay.
You know, this stuff happens. Racism leads to dirty bombs.
Yeah, of course.
And I also received knowledge of a character who was the character responsible for most of the institutionalized passionate racism against elves, which my character grew up dealing with. And once I heard, like, yeah, no, most of, like, the distaste that was against elves in Caulfield was because of, his name was Pippin. And I'm literally already planning on drawing out a sword and going, you don't look too merry, Pippin. To do a funny bit, But, legitimately, I was given some other details of why just stuff that happened, and I was free to interpret them as I wished. But yeah, it was just recently fleshed out. The DM fleshed out some of it on Sunday, and then he gave me even more details at work today. And yeah, no, I 100% agree.
Yeah. So in response to the video, what I will say right off the bat is that anytime you have an RPG system where the sourcebook includes guidelines for running the game, you can potentially apply that advice to any other system. You might have to adapt a few of the concepts, and you'll definitely have to change any mechanical rules over to the game that you're going to be playing, but the core concepts of game mastering from any RPG will be interchangeable with any other RPG, so Blades in the Dark is not unique in this regard. However, that's probably also not necessary, because whatever RPG you're playing probably has its own book of guidelines for GMing, or at least a section of a source book dedicated to that, and these guidelines will be specifically tailored to that RPG. I know the DMG for D&D 5e isn't great, but 5e also has Xanathars. There's nothing wrong with seeing something in another RPG that you would like to use in D&D, but it doesn't make the game objectively better. It's just something you felt like doing. The concepts mentioned in this video aren't bad, but the way Mr. Bloodstream described their implementation is much too overt. Just let these things happen naturally. You don't need a whole session to force them. The other thing I will contend with is the idea that characters need downtime to explore their backstories. They can if they want to, of course, but they don't have to. Their backstory should already exist. The character is already the person their backstory has made them into. If players want to stop and talk to each other about their backgrounds, of course you should let them do that, but you don't need to schedule a time for them to do that. It's better if it just happens naturally. Also, depending on the backstory, a quest or mission might be a better way to explore it than just talking about it in downtime. It might, in fact, be something a character wouldn't be inclined to discuss unless circumstances force them to. Or it might involve elements they don't know about, which they only discover over the course of adventure. Yes. Also, good night, Pizza Funk. Yes, so to that last bit there, that is definitely a good case of, like, actually, having your backstory and stuff matter and be something that you can do in the non-downtime, quote unquote, right? Like
the uptime.
The uptime. Yes, the uptime, not the downtime. You're right. Yeah, that whole video was very, like you said, overt. Good word for it.
I wish I was there for it.
Yeah. But it's I don't know. It like you said, nothing wrong with using them. As I had also said in that, there's nothing wrong with just transplanting it in if you want to. That's absolutely fine. But it just feels very unnatural in the way that he was describing it, and the implications of not mattering to the world unless you did the downtime, really. It was weird. Of course, I was thinking of Zeke in Devils and Dice there. Oh, there you go. Yeah, true.
So, wait, in what context? Sorry.
In the having a quest or mission be a better way to explore it. Explore backstory than just talking about it in downtime.
Yeah,
because,
absolutely.
Yeah, with Zeke's whole being a soulman.
Yes, his whole thing.
Yeah, and then going and finding Zeke. Yeah, cool. Oh, cool, another bot that I can destroy.
Kill it with fire.
I've destroyed it with a report. Okay. So, that's it. That's all the comments. Thank you. Yeah. Always good to get comments. And it's time. It's we're at the end, so I'm just gonna read off our patrons again really quick. That is, of course, a big thank you to Draco Kraken, Mog Zero, Slazer, Steely, Drake Cross, Chris, Lux, Frozen Spaghetti, and Kill Chrono. Appreciate you all. Thank you for sticking around. Those of you who are newer, those of you who are older, we've been doing this for 2 fucking years now.
It's weird.
Hey man, it's cool, and also, yes, very strange. That time keeps going while we keep doing this. But next week is year 3, so Jesus. Fucking neat.
Season 3.
Well, we're in season 4 already, but let's not worry about those seasons too much. They're just numbers. Whilst the years, wow, those are things that happened. So thank you again, everybody, for hanging out, for checking out the small little channel that we are, and hanging out for so long. And hey, if you're new, well, consider, I don't know, like subscribing or something. Yeah. Wow, crazy. Anyway, podcast Tuesdays live, Fridays VOD, Mondays audio only version on podcasting services. Tomorrow, Astatine session 5 will come up, and you can watch it before. We might be doing it live on Thursday if everything goes to plan. We'll see.
Is Brogan back from his trip?
Yes, he is.
Okay. When did he get back? I don't even remember.
I don't know. I think it was like the 22nd or
Probably
something.
when he picked up Mtar Cantor under Skunderson.
Yeah,
True.
under Skunderson. Yep.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But so look forward to that Thursday if that's happening. If not, well, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. Leave.
What now? I'm leaving. Get out of here. We're closed.
Sign says closed. Leave.